Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next few hours, along with Mike, who is muted.
Good Sunday morning.
And Nick is here.
See, I'm prepared, unlike Mike, who was muted.
Oh, yeah, you had a warning, though.
Our number is 919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And today's show is being brought to you by Adamus.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters for professionals. And today is September 21st, 2014.
The last full day of summer.
Oh.
Summer's all day tomorrow until 10:29 p.m. tomorrow. So today's the last full day.
You know what I didn't do? But I'm going to do it. Hopefully nobody's watching on Bamboozer. I forgot.
Everybody's watching on Bamboozer.
Oh, well, I'm going to have to kill it. Well,
why?
Because all the pre-shows there. It's all right. It's
Don't
fine.
kill it.
It's no big deal.
Yeah, I wouldn't kill it.
I forgot about that.
You just said hopefully nobody's watching on Bamboozer, even though it's the mainstream.
Well, it's all right.
Yeah, I think we'll manage.
There was a new Skype update this morning. If you have the business, I guess it's the business client.
I didn't get it, yeah.
It looks really different.
Do you have that picture?
No. It is version 620.64.104. The other computers updated to 620.0.104. The difference is the third octet, which is 64.
Do you screen share by any chance and show us? Is that a possibility? If not, not a problem.
I don't know. I'm hesitant to do screen shares. Let's see how this works.
Hey, Amnon, our video is jumping if you haven't noticed.
And
Oh, yeah, I see it. Okay.
I doubt you could see it anyway, but can you see this?
You can. Wow. That looks very different.
But let's unscreen share that. Talk, Nick.
Hello. That looks very different. Very interesting. Okay, cool. I wonder what the push was to update it and why such a dramatic UI change.
I don't know. The other UI change before this one, it was very different before this one. I don't know what release I'm on. I'm either on a business release cycle or a 64-bit release cycle. I don't know what the difference between the 0 and the 64 version is. I don't know. I don't even know how I got on this. Somebody somewhere said, oh, you need to get this version instead of that version.
Yeah. So this is actually 64?
It's .64. I don't know if there's I don't know anything about it being a 64-bit version or anything like that. I have no idea. Andrew says he downloaded 620.73.104.
But he's in the Mac, so the versions I don't think always line up.
I don't know.
At one point they did not line up. They may have now. Oh, no, he's saying on Windows.
Yep.
I did not update mine. I told her not to.
You don't get to do that as much anymore. If you wait 1 or 2 versions, it'll stop working.
Yeah. Plus, Emran, you're not doing return video, so it's not like you have a problem with capture cards getting killed.
That's a good point.
I think
I didn't think about that. You're right.
There's a very limited use case when you should not be updating your Skype on a regular basis. They make improvements. If you've got like Stephen Haywood is in this boat, if he keeps updating Skype, his capture cards will stop functioning. And for him, he needs to find a workaround for that. But for everybody else, should be updating your Skype. Stop living in the past.
I agree. All right, here, I'm doing it.
Do not update it during the show. Please do not.
Yeah, you asking for it?
Well, that's fine. It's not my show.
There's nothing wrong about doing it now.
Until it asks to reboot your computer.
So, where was everybody yesterday?
You were around all day.
We were here. We had 8 hours or more.
Yeah. Where were you yesterday, Amnon?
Even Andrew.
I was out for a while, and then I came back, and I kept looking for a hangout, and there was nothing.
Oh, and look, Andrew was even there, and Andrew hates Mike.
Every time I log in, he must not have seen me.
Well, as all right.
It is. How's your weekend? On any interesting stories to pass along to us?
Mine?
Yeah.
Nah.
No client computers
No.
malfunctioning?
Yesterday. Yes. Well, actually, yesterday the reason why I wasn't on the computer is at 11 o'clock we went outside and came back in at about 4:30.
Oh, outside's
We
not a scary
stayed
place,
outside. It was beautiful weather. Nice cool breeze. Kathy worked out there in the garden and on the flowers and stuff. I was sitting. I actually took a nap outside under the, whatever I call it, shelter. It was nice. It was a nice day. Then we went to Smithfield Chicken and Barbecue for supper.
I sat out by the pool all day.
Yeah, there you go.
You sat out by the pool all day?
Oh, wait a minute. I don't have a pool.
Yeah, you don't have a pool.
Okay.
And I know for a fact you didn't sit out by the pool all day.
Never mind.
Yeah, I said by the pond.
I could go sit out by this drainage ditch over near the house.
With all the frogs and the overgrown grass.
Turtles and...
Turtles are cool. That's it. It's looking to be a nice day out. Last day of summer.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good one. 67 degrees. The warmest it's been.
It's nice.
Nice where you are, not nice here.
What kind of... Oh, so you have bad weather?
Well, we did. It didn't.
Oh.
It hit 60 with a high like 2 days ago was 61 degrees.
Ah, that's beautiful.
The high tomorrow is 64.
That's gorgeous.
Not well.
That is good. That's what it's supposed. I'm looking forward to this type of weather.
Well, yeah, you know, it's fine if it's 61 degrees all day, but when you wake up in the morning and the windows are frosted over because it's 30 degrees out, that's no fun. The 60, I'm fine with the 60 degrees. It's nice, but the mornings suck. Way too cold in the mornings.
So I went and stood in line for the iPhone 6 and couldn't get one.
Uh-huh.
You didn't even bring it up last week, I don't think.
I got one and dropped it.
Apple
Mike,
is...
why are you such a hater?
Because I got people who are starting to pick on me because I try to help people.
Apple has been on the news for a bunch of stuff.
They always are.
Screw-ups.
Well, yeah. Speaking of, never mind.
Yeah.
Keep it buzzing.
Let's see. It says the first story is Apple may have succeeded at breaking 2 records at once
Yeah, there you go.
with the free release of U2's latest album. I don't see what's I really don't understand, other than the fact, if I don't want it, don't send it to me. What is such a big deal?
Well, no, the big thing here with this U2 thing is U2 is not a popular band anymore.
Okay.
Kids are not listening to U2.
Okay.
People don't. I know who U2 is. My friends do. I mean, maybe a few of them. Most of my friends would not know what U2 is.
Right.
They're not a hip band.
Okay, but my point is, how is it really a big problem if they send it out, other than being wrong and
Well,
political?
they're not wrong.
I mean, what?
You sign the terms and conditions. Apple can do whatever they want with your phone.
Yeah, but
You
they're
are
wrong
citizen.
for sending it without, even though you don't pay for it. But why would
disagree.
people get so upset?
Because the problem is a lot of people have iPhones that don't have enough storage, and they didn't want the songs on their phone.
Oh, so it was because of it fills up the storage.
Well,
all the
that,
stories.
People, why would you want an album on your phone that you don't listen to?
Yeah, but then you can go ahead and delete it, and people were complaining that it still shows in their purchases on iTunes, even though they did not have to pay for it. So what? What am I missing here?
People just don't want it on their account. People don't want the song to be downloaded to other. When you sync everything with iCloud, it downloads everything. People just didn't want. There was a whole page on Apple's website how to fully remove the album from your account.
Okay,
that was a difficult thing to do.
It was. There was a whole page. Let me see if I can still find it. It was on Apple.com. Let's see.
I mean, Bono is 54 years old. That does not pass the cool test with Andrew.
Let's see. Apple tells.
I mean, I think their songs are noise, but
well,
yeah, you have to go to a special link they set up to remove the album.
Well, they say Apple has responded and released a tool to make it possible to remove the album from your iTunes library in a single step.
Yeah, that's the link I posted. It's iTunes.com/SOI, which stands for the album name Songs of Innocence -remove.
Okay.
But that's you can't even remove the album from your account. That's how.
Joe DeMax just made a good point. He said preload all iPhones with Nicki Minaj. I would then drop it to make sure that the screen came off of it so that I could get my money back.
Yeah.
That would be enough to drive me to Android.
Is that you guys have? I never had an iPhone, so is that the case with every piece of music that you purchase on iTunes? You cannot get rid of it. It's always there.
We've got some fanboys in chat, and I am not very well versed on this, but what I understood was something about this album was installed as a system, and certain system things you can take it off the desktop or whatever they call but being installed as a system, it was difficult to remove, which is why they had to provide this alternate way of removing it. It wasn't just delete it from iTunes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I believe it has something to do. I believe it has something to do more with the sharing, like you can. I think you could remove it from your phone, but it was still on your Apple account. So this way is to remove it from your Apple
account.
ID. It will remove it from your account. Yes.
Yeah, because people were saying that even though they removed it, which was a big deal, it still showed on their iTunes purchases.
Correct, because it was still on their account, so they
Yeah.
had to create this special tool to remove it from your account.
Somebody said in that article, it says, rapper Tyler said, having the new U2 album automatically downloaded on his iPhone was like waking up with an STD.
I would have to agree.
Yeah.
But see, the problem everybody's not understanding here is, well, I don't want this. I don't want. Well, but you have signed your soul away to Apple,
Yeah.
and with any other service.
What are you saying?
signed
You got. Oh no, you don't have one. That's right. I forgot.
No, but I'm an iTunes customer.
Yeah.
I've sold my soul to Apple, and I've sold it to Google, and I've sold it to every other company that I've signed the terms and conditions for. When they want to push this album to every phone, that's what they're going to do, and they did it. So as upset as you may or may not be, it all comes down to you signed it. They didn't just throw it on your phone for no reason. You consented for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Max saying he doesn't like the music, and I mean the music's all right, but
So another
Joe,
thing.
Let me ask you this: what do you think of Apple's new CDN capability?
Well, you were saying that it sucks.
they're using Bamboozer.
Bamboozer would have worked better than what they did. They couldn't keep the stream up.
Yeah.
Whenever Joe was live streaming, oh, it's superb. Yes, Joe, you're drinking early in the UK. I can see you've been around Andrew too long. But when they were broadcasting this live event, they couldn't keep the stream up. When they did the rollout of the iPhone 6, you couldn't even see what was going on. They skipped a lot of what are the details and features are for the iPhone 6s, which that was the only part of it I wanted to see.
Which and in that case, that's when you saw live blogging really for the longest time. Live blogging has been kind of a secondary thing because these events are always live streamed. But when you've got a total collapse of the CDN, it was nice that you could go to like Engadget or Gizmodo or whatever, look at the live blog and see the screenshots rolling in while your live stream was buffering or whatever else.
It was a JavaScript error on the hosting.
That's bullshit.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
Well,
This is not GFQ.
I'm sorry.
All right.
No, I'm not sorry.
You need to be sorry.
is this really Joe here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Morning, Joe. Morning,
It's
Joe.
just-
Yeah. Morning, Joe.
It's just stupid.
And-
But you notice how nobody cared, really.
Well, the Apple fanboys don't care.
But like, if that would imagine if Microsoft had that problem, which they have had in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, that's why I don't buy a Mac. That's why I don't buy a PC. That it's just I don't know.
Sure.
Very weird mentality.
All right. So, another thing about Apple, which again, I mean, I'm why they do stuff like this. It goes, if you've been browsing Apple's site leading to the iPhone 6 launch, you might have noticed something a little odd. Apple has edited the handset's protruding camera out of every single side-on view of the phone. The camera is necessarily retained for images showing the back of the device. The absence is particularly conspicuous given the number of side views Apple uses to emphasize the device's thinness. So they photoshopped it out. They took it out, and I guess the camera is sticking out a little bit. And they said that
It's a protruding camera.
the what?
Yeah, it's a protruding camera. It's an actual
Yeah.
sensor that moves.
So they edited it out of every shot that they had there.
But come on, every company does that.
No, I don't.
You gotta make this look as good as possible. That's not anything new. I mean, go look at a billboard. It's the exact same thing.
I think that if the camera is actually showing that it's protruding out, it gives it a little bit of what's the word I'm looking for? When you can compare it to something. If you show a building and you say, look how big it is. Okay, but if you show that building with the guy standing at the bottom on the ground, then you have what? What's the word I'm looking for?
It's for scale.
Huh? Something
I'm
to
not sure.
compare to. Now you see the guy in front of you say, oh, yeah, that building is huge.
Yeah, the guy's there for scale.
It's not scale. There's another word I'm looking for. Somebody.
I'm sorry, I have no clue what you're talking about.
I don't know either.
Oh, Anyway.
The problem with Apple that I don't get, and this is certainly a backhanded compliment, because you keep hearing the Apple fanboys talking about Tim Cook is no Steve Jobs and all that, and I'm really not part of that discussion because I don't know much about either person or either guy. There's no question that Steve Jobs, assuming that he was in fact the leader of the company who brought them all these new designs and ideas and drove them into the position where they are right now, then certainly he was a marketing genius to be able to accomplish what Apple has accomplished. Having said that, then I was unable to really see the deterioration of the company that so many people complained about under Tim Cook. If this last event was, if that's the new Apple, then I'm finally understanding what people are complaining about, because there are two things that Apple has always done that put them so far and above the competition, whoever they may be, whether it's Samsung, whether it's Microsoft, it put them so far head and shoulders above the competition that there was no point in even doing or discussing a comparison. And those two things are, in my opinion as a consumer, the two things are, number one, that their live events were extraordinarily well done, first class, world class, trend setting events. And that is that everything worked, it was smooth flow, everything worked perfectly. Well, they blew that out the window. This last one was worse than an absolute disaster. But more importantly, that can probably be fixed fairly easily. They could even go back to using those Windows machines for their streamers like they were doing before if they need to. But the second thing that they would do is that whenever Steve Jobs was there, he said, and here is the new iPhone 4. The iPhone 4, look, it's thinner. It has rounded corners. Apple invented rounded corners. And it's available today. You can get it today. And when they would do that, I mean, from a marketing perspective, you create the demand, and then you can immediately go out and meet that demand. It was extraordinary. It was, again, world-class manufacturing. However, they didn't do that this time. They grossly underestimated demand. They did not have the products ready whenever they went to their event. To me, it's putting them in the class with a lot of other companies who just don't know what they're doing. I mean, the fanboys will defend them saying, oh, yes, the demand was more than they anticipated. That's not getting them off the hook. If they're the world leader, if they're the world-class organization, if they're the trendsetter, then they need to be able to anticipate demand.
Yeah, but that was all a business strategy, Mike.
I don't buy it, because there are certain people. I've already heard, a very small market that we're in, but I've already heard one person say, screw this, I'm getting an Android. Just get it at 3 o'clock in the morning, or wait 2 months to get a phone. I just go get it, and he did.
They're back ordered, like, so I think actually we talked about this yesterday, but imagine, Mike, you break your phone, you're in the market for a new phone. What, you're going to wait 6 weeks to get the new iPhone without a phone? I don't think so. You're going to get whatever you can get your hands on.
Well, I could make an argument defending part of that, and this goes back to what I was saying before, and that is that they don't have an obligation. What was the date of the rollout?
When they released it?
No, yeah, the date, the
it
disaster.
Was released on, the keynote, or the keynote was the September 2nd, Tuesday.
All right, so on September, they had no duty to anyone to have the phone ready to ship on September 2nd. They should, that doesn't matter. So let's suppose that they should have held off on the keynote until November 2nd, so they could have built up inventories and so forth. And then they could have said on November 2nd, and it would have made sense. That's probably what Steve Jobs would have done, what little bit I know about him. Having said that, anyone who lost a phone between September 2nd and November 2nd would have had to do something else anyway.
Correct.
That means that I don't point a finger at Apple and say, what about all these guys who have to wait 6 weeks for a phone? Well, if they had delayed the rollout as they should have, they still would have had to wait 6 weeks to get a phone. So I don't hold that against Apple.
No, I don't hold it against Apple, but it's an interesting point here. If you honestly need to get a new phone, what are you going to do? You're going to be without, like Saporto says, you're going to be without a phone until mid-November?
If you got to have a 6 Plus, you are.
Exactly.
Find a scammer who will sell you one.
You're going to wait over a month and a half?
Sure. I've been waiting 2 years.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's 2 months without a phone. Your current phone is broken.
I'm tempted to wait 2 months without a phone. It's very, very tempting.
Well, you're in the minority then.
Absolutely. Every time it buzzes, is somebody wanting something.
You should just snap it over your knee and be done with it.
I could just drop it, see how it works. Uh-oh.
Now, let's see, who is this? Good morning.
Hey, Amnon.
Good morning.
Is the word you're looking for comparison?
Yeah, comparison, but I don't know. There's another word. I know it's on the tip of my tongue, but I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
What's happening, Larry?
We can't hear
Oh, nothing much. Just hanging out.
Yeah, good.
I just thought I was going to help you.
I appreciate that.
All right.
Thank
Y'all
you.
Have a good
Amnon,
one.
Yes.
we cannot hear the caller.
You cannot hear the caller.
No,
Sorry. Larry, talk.
He's gone.
Oops. I forgot to turn up the aux send on these channels. Shoot.
Why would they be down?
Because I always use them at 9 o'clock, and on the show, because of the Hangouts, I turn it up to 12 o'clock. Mike is going to fix it. We have to put it on a different
sound card.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, I brought it up.
He's using the same sound card for Skype and the Hangout. The Hangout level has to be higher. The Skype has to be run at 100%. Actually, there's probably a way around that, Amnon. If you go into, don't want to get into it now, but if you go into the Windows computer, go into this. Well, no, that won't work. Never mind.
Did you not hear Larry at all, or it was very low?
We could hear him through your speaker.
Yeah.
The reason the stream could hear him, you guys, is because you heard him through the main mix, but Nick and I have to hear him through Mix Minus.
Oh, well, okay. No, it'll be fine now. I mean, can't you just do what, who was doing that with stickers? Apple stickers or something stickers. I
have some Apple stickers.
Yeah, can't you just go on the phone and put a 6+ on it?
Yeah, why would you want to do that?
I mean, it doesn't matter whether you have it or not. It's what people think that you have. Right? Isn't that what's important?
What?
Well, if you're going to put a sticker on the iPhone 6, you need to put it so that it wraps around the edges so that when you drop it, it doesn't fly all over the room.
Yeah, did everybody see that video? I'm sure everybody saw it, of the guy unboxing his new iPhone, and
some people just can't
dropped
in
it.
society.
The first guy in Australia to get one dropped it on camera, and it fell all to pieces. You know, I don't really hold. I mean, there were people criticizing Apple for putting it in an airtight box. Get a life.
Stop being a total moron.
I mean, the thing that I don't understand is, with such a, I mean, if the guy held the box at anything other than flat, it will slide right off. It's right at the very top. I mean, I took many devices out of boxes, and they are always, you have to go in there and grab it and pull it out. This thing was just, looked like it was laying on top. I may have missed something, but
no, it sits in a little, it sits in like
not a deep enough indentation that will hold it, grab it.
Oh, well, of course it's not going to grab it, but
Well,
when the guy's rushing on TV to pull the phone out of the box, he's being careless. That's,
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
not
and
a wonderful
absolutely he
box.
was careless.
I don't think the guy did anything wrong. I will tell you this: the packaging that Apple uses for its products, the packaging is better designed than the product is. The packaging, I mean, their boxes are extraordinary. I got every Apple product I've bought. I still have the original box. I think the boxes are very, very well done.
I mean, I'm also wondering if he may have already taken it out, looked at it, and then the TV crew came over and he quickly maybe put it back, and the top foam was upside down maybe or something. He just put it, and just to show him that he's open. Very possible. I would.
I don't think so.
I would like to think there must have been a manual in that thing. The manual
the manual's everything is underneath. The phone lays right on top.
Okay, you
That is
see,
how Apple
the
practices
manual
it.
should have been on top of the phone,
No, that never. Why would
Well-
you want the manual on top of the phone? That's an awful.
so it protects it. Also, when you ship it, there's another layer of something between the phone and the box top. I mean, it just never mind. Let's not get into this. There's a lot of. I mean, hindsight is 20/20.
No, but it's interesting. You've got the thing is people don't read manuals, and it's all about aesthetics.
Yeah, no, I
It
understand.
doesn't look pretty when you open it up and you've got a manual that's in 430 different languages on the front. It's
No.
all about the aesthetics.
No,
Did-
it's not
do you
about
remember
aesthetics. It's about technical stuff.
Do you remember the plastic boxes they had for the iPods?
Yes.
Those things were, I mean, they were perfect. They just amazingly how well those things work together. And again, that's what the same way on this box when this guy's opening it. It was built to such tight tolerances that when the guy opened it, it created a vacuum that whenever he finally pulled the pieces apart, he had to pull them apart, and when he did, he jerked the bottom
Yeah.
part, which threw the phone out.
Like I said, if it wasn't on TV and he wasn't rushing to get the box open, then it would have been fine.
I wonder what happened. I wonder if they gave him another phone.
They shouldn't have. That's what that's what he should get for being an idiot.
Yeah.
I don't know. Kid was brokenhearted. They ought to give him another one.
The news station should have bought him another one because, in retrospect, it was kind of their fault.
And here's something else about Apple.
They said it was fine, but they offered. Okay, they said apparently the phone, he was able to put the phone back together and it worked. They said, but they offered him one.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
That's good. I'm glad.
That phone should be worth a lot of money at this point.
And if he puts it on
This
eBay,
particular
it'll be worth
one.
a lot.
What?
If he puts it on eBay, it'll be worth a lot.
Yeah.
Why would it be worth a lot?
Because of what it went through.
I don't want a phone that's
Oh,
dropped
it's
and busted into pieces.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat with Mike there.
now. Remember
Those
the
are kinda-
problem. Remember the problem with iCloud, and people said that it was hacked and all that. Well, Apple CEO Tim Cook insists that Apple doesn't read. In fact, says Cook, cannot read users' email, and that the company iCloud service wasn't hacked. ZDNet presents highlights from Cook's lengthy two-part interview with Charlie Rose, one selection of particular interest. Apple previously said that even it cannot access iMessage and FaceTime communications, stating that such messages and calls are not held in an identifiable form. He claimed if the government laid a subpoena, then Apple can't prove it. What? Claimed if the government laid a subpoena, then Apple can't prove it. He said bluntly, we don't have a key. The door is closed. He reiterated previous comments whereby Apple has said it is not in business of collecting people's data. We heard that before. He said, when we design a new service, we try not to collect data. We're not reading your email. Cook went on to talk about Prism in more detail, following the lead from every other technology company implicated by those now infamous PowerPoint slides. So he says that iCloud was not hacked, even though the rest of the world said it was. And there
Well-
was... What?
There actually is some news on that.
Yeah.
And if I understand what I was told, when I was told by Andrew, and I was only about half listening, but from what I understand, that very likely is exactly what happened, because there appears to be, and Andrew, correct me if I say this wrong, there appears to be a sub-network among quote-unquote celebrities, these starlets, where they trade pornographic pictures with each other. It's kind of a sickness. And so what these stars do is they send these selfies and the nasty pictures to each other as part of some game they play, and some of the members of the press are in part of this little exchange club. What they think is that somebody in that club betrayed the confidence of the club and released those pictures, and in fact may not have had anything to do with him.
Oh, well. But
and knowing some of this trash that we look at on the movies and TV, it sounds plausible. I have no idea if it's true, but it sure sounds plausible to me.
And is any way to prove one way or another? I mean, one story or another?
Well,
Andrew,
I guess if you could prove that there is such a club where all these pictures are traded, if there were any proof of that, then that would certainly add credibility.
There's Superman himself.
Judge Max does it.
Oh,
Hello.
Did I say that right?
Graphic nature, so I called in.
Did I say that right?
You did. So part of it, I heard some of it, and then I called in to kind of clarify. So what happens is, let's say, let's say I'm a celebrity, and I took a picture, and I sent it to my girlfriend.
You did?
And my girlfriend took a picture and sent it to me.
She did.
She did. And I happened to show this to one of my friends.
You did.
And maybe he sent it to somebody else. Said, "Oh, look, so-and-so's girlfriend. This is his girlfriend." So a lot of times that's what happens. But there is an underground ring of paparazzi and people, former publicists, because a lot of publicists have access to their phones. Former publicists, former managers, and they start trading these photos, and they use it as some sort of collateral as far as, maybe possible blackmail later down the line. They could demand some sort of money, or they could. So even if you have a phenomenal publicist right now and everything is great, they have access to your stuff. And there's a good chance they have these photos and they will hold on to it just in case one day. So a lot of times the leaks are not coming from the celebrities themselves, but the people around them. And for years this has been going on where people in, celebrity journalism and paparazzi and this kind of stuff, they've been trading these images back and forth amongst each other. And it's like this collection that they have. They're like, "Oh, look, I have Gwen Stefani. Who do you have? Okay, well, I have, so-and-so. Okay, I'll give you Gwen Stefani for so-and-so." They start treating it like trading cards. And apparently, from what I understand, what a possibility is that, I think some of these were hacked, obviously. They got it through, reverse engineering and social engineering and guessing the password and resetting it, because Apple, I spoke about it 2 weeks ago, you could pretty much reset anybody's password without them knowing if you know just a couple things about them. You log on at 3 in the morning, you do this, they won't have a clue until the morning time when they get up. So this trading has been going on with video and photos for a long, long time. It's just now somebody decided that they're going to dump everything on the internet and make it public.
Well, but you and I were talking, when it comes to people like the Kardashians, they say it's a hack when in fact it's probably a calculated release.
Yeah, so I mean, some of these images that are going to be coming out now, they're going to be releasing them themselves because they are no longer in the media. So you're going to start seeing a lot of names popping out that you have not heard in a while, because now they're going to get some sort of limelight and some sort of exposure again.
I mean, if it were anybody, if it were anybody but a Kardashian, then you might believe it. But whenever theirs gets released, it's for the publicity.
I have had dinner with publicists, and at dinner, the publicist has showed me her phone, like, "Oh, look what I got," and it has been a celebrity that they are representing.
Right.
And then they have like a full, an entire catalog of images. They're the scum of the earth.
And I mean, of course, people love that crap. That's why there's TMZ and all this other stuff. But I mean, I don't know what the attraction is. I mean, if you want porn, you don't have to see stars. You can just click anything on the internet and end up with porn.
But I mean, the scary thing is that it's available on the internet, and it's forever available on the internet. No matter how many takedown notices you issue, somebody has it.
Yep.
No.
All right, that's all I wanted to say. Now I have to go.
Oh, where are you going?
I have to go and work out and shower, and I have brunch this afternoon, so I have to get ready for that.
Right.
No, it's all right, Andrew.
Good.
We'll
All right.
let you. We'll let you.
When I'm done with my workout, I'll call back.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Talk to you. 919-518-9773. Computers 2K Voice on Skype.
Well, this might be an interesting story. It'll take a little while. And if it gets boring, let me know because I'm interested in it, but you may or may not be. But it turns out that a case was entered by the state of California against an attorney there. This attorney had photoshopped, apparently, herself into a bunch of pictures with celebrities. She then, according to this document, posted those pictures on her own website, theoretically to suggest that she was somehow connected and possibly even representing these celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
And so what they said was they charged her with 4 counts of misconduct involving 3 separate matters. It said that she had committed deceptive advertising. She failed to promptly release a client file. She failed to cooperate with a disciplinary investigation. There was one more. I don't see what it was. And so they ultimately recommended discipline against her. On January 27, 2014, acting as her own counsel, she filed a response to the notice of disciplinary something. In her response, she denied allegations contained in the NDC and then wrote a 16-page soliloquy with little to no rational connection to the charges at hand. In one portion of her response, she wrote, "Also, with regard to false statements and misleading advertisement, none other than Natalie Portman comes to mind. The online media extensively covers the controversy surrounding Natalie Portman's performance in the film Black Swan. The ballet dancer who performed in The Black Swan, Sarah Lane, has come forward to reveal a cover-up and says that Natalie Portman's head was superimposed on Sarah Lane's body and that Natalie Portman lied. Please see the exhibit at this link. Despite the foregoing, Natalie Portman has won an Oscar for her performance in Black Swan." Later, in her response, she concluded by stating, "There is a popular expression, Sweet 16. The foregoing 16 pages can be characterized as bittersweet 16. It goes without saying as to why they are bitter. Can one envision the acts in the civil arena more unseemly than the ones described above? But what the accused views as sweet is that this country, the United States of America, is truly the land of opportunity, where anything and everything is possible. I came to this country in my 20s with nothing and married another immigrant who also had nothing. I passed the LSAT without taking the preparation course, graduated cum laude from Pepperdine University School of Law, and passed the bar without even taking the Barbary course. My American dream has come true, as I have been able to a point wherein now in my 30s I am a prominent donor and philanthropist, supporting important social causes," who had recently received the email. Get this now, listen carefully.
Mm-hmm.
Back up on that one. "I have been able to achieve a point wherein now in my 30s I am a prominent donor and philanthropist, supporting important social causes. One who has recently received email from President Obama with the subject line, 'I need your help today,' asking me for an additional donation. Please see Exhibit 30. God bless America."
Yeah.
And it
America.
goes on. I mean, look,
Only in America.
if IRS, for example, Amnon, contacted you and said, we have some reports of irregularities in your tax returns and the way you operate your business, here are the accusations, please respond by such and such a date or face disciplinary action up to and including incarceration.
Right.
Would you write something like that?
No, first I'll go change my undies,
Uh-huh.
and then I'll find a good lawyer to go and prove that there's nothing. But no, I would not.
Then she wrote, I did not have to deal with the lemon law. I'm dealing with other types of lemons, such as the ones revealed here. And a proverbial phrase comes to mind. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Wikipedia says that it is a proverbial phrase used to encourage optimism and a can-do attitude in the face of adversity or misfortune. Wikipedia describes it. I exemplify it. And such lemonade tastes great. I may have blood, sweat, and tears in it, but it is so enjoyable. The more challenges, the more lemons. The more lemons, the more lemonades. Lemonade. God bless America, the land of opportunity.
Exactly.
Something wrong here.
Something is very wrong here.
So anyway, she had, Respondent has a website that features a large number of publicity photos. Each of these photos represents Respondent with at least one other celebrity or political figure, including Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Al Gore, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Antonio Valerio, I don't even know who he is, Valerio Gosa, George Clooney, Paris Hilton, and Bill Maher, to name a few. At the trial, the State Bar elicited credible and persuasive expert testimony, and this court finds that many, and perhaps all, of these photos were created by taking original celebrity photos and then overlaying Respondent's image to make it appear as though Respondent was in the presence of the celebrity. These photographs were part of an advertisement and solicitation for future work directed by Respondent to the general public through her website, and they were false, deceptive, and intended to confuse, deceive, and mislead the public. Now, here's the stupid part. These publicity photos still remained on the Respondent's website at the time of the trial of this matter. She didn't even take it down. All right, enough of that.
No.
I don't know.
Yeah. Only in America.
Only in America.
All right, Mike, here's something that you can probably also comment on. Google has lifted its requirement that new Google users also create a Google Plus account. Marketing Land reports. When you sign up for a Gmail, Google Docs, or other Google account, a new no thanks button lets you opt out of Google's social network. Google hasn't made any official announcement about the state of Google Plus, but the company's enthusiasm for the product seems to be fading. Google Plus boss Vic Gandotra either left or was fired last April. Since then, Google Plus hasn't really been the same, and now Google will likely see far fewer new user signups. So, is that a good thing that they did?
I don't think I know at this point.
I don't think I've ever met somebody who said that, oh man, it's a pain in the butt. Every time, I mean, if I want to get a Google Apps account, then I have to, Google Docs account, I have to sign up for Google Plus. I mean, a lot of people probably signed up for Google Plus and never used it. So it's interesting if they are losing interest in it and it's going to go away. Wasn't this part of that Google Help or whatever? What did you call it? The experts?
Help outs.
Help outs, yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, that's completely separate.
Okay.
Don't know if it's good. Probably remains to be seen. Merle's asking about the update on the podcast lawsuit. This is where a company called Personal Audio sued a number of podcasters, including Adam Carolla, for violation of or infringement of a patent that it applied for in 1996, and it was subsequently amended and reissued and all sorts of things, where they are alleging that they in fact have a patent on certain aspects of podcasting, primarily the directory features associated with an RSS feed. All I will tell you is what I've read, and I've read quite a bit about it. A case between CBS and Personal Audio went to jury trial in the Eastern District of Texas in the last week or so. And as I recall, Personal Audio was seeking about $8 million in damages, but they did in fact get a judgment against, they won their case and got a judgment against CBS for $1.3 million. This is against the backdrop of 6 ago, the case between Adam Carolla and Personal Audio was settled out of court. I don't know all of the terms of the settlement. They're not really public at this point, but somehow they've reached a settlement such that the lawsuit is not actively going on at this moment in time against Adam Carolla. The possibility that these guys are going to succeed long term is obviously in question for two reasons. First is that it is thought and believed that CBS will appeal this ruling in the from the Eastern District of Texas to a higher court. And this Eastern District of Texas court, I don't know what the number is, but they're frequently overturned. It's not necessarily the end of the story whenever it's heard in the Eastern District of Texas, where they have what they call the rocket docket. That is, they push patent cases through in a hurry. Sometimes a patent case can take 3 to 5 years to get to court. Apparently, they have expedited the process in the Eastern District of Texas because they have people there and attorneys in the area and so forth that are well versed in patent law. It's debated as to whether they're reaching proper or competent decisions, but that's another matter which I don't have any opinion. But we'll see how that happens. The second thing that's going on is the Electronic Frontier Foundation, EFF.org, is continuing the lawsuit that they have filed, that they are challenging the validity of the patent, and that they are trying to introduce or have introduced what they have determined to be prior art, such that if it is established that the prior art is valid and is in fact citable as a reference against the patent, then the patent would not be valid. That's continuing. That's a possibility as well. Who knows where that's going to ultimately end up? Don't know the answer to that. At this point, we don't know anything.
So is that did that answer your question, Merle? Oh yeah. Oh boy.
It should have.
Yeah.
That was the right
He says thanks.
What do you want to know?
Absolutely.
There you go. But even then, a lot of the podcasters get all upset and get indigestion and all that. But the reason that Personal Audio claims to have dropped their lawsuits is they found out there's no money in podcasting. They apparently, again, based on some documents that we've discussed here, they went through the discovery phase against Adam Carolla. When they saw there was no money there, they decided that even if they got a judgment, it would not be of any value. It could potentially cost more to get a judgment for infringing their patent than it would be it costs more to prosecute the lawsuit than it would be. For example, if we decided to sue someone for $1 million and they only have $10,000 to their name, what good is a judgment for $1 million against someone?
Right.
It's uncollectible. And what I understood Personal Audio to be saying, you guys, if this is important to you, do your own reading, because I have not followed it that closely, but I have read things when I have bumped into them. But my understanding is that Personal Audio, again, when they're suing for $8 million, if they find out that people only have $25,000, and even if they are awarded attorney's fees, which is never a guarantee and doesn't happen as often as you would think, the other side would not even be able to help them reimburse their attorney's fees. What good is uncollectible award? if you might as well give me $100 million reward. If the other side can't pay it, then what good is it? But if this continues, if EFF fails, if the patent is found to be valid, if the personal audio is able to define the metes and bounds of what they determine to be the infringement, then one of two things will happen. One of three things will happen. One is that someone will design around the patent. There will be a new way of podcasting that does not infringe that patent, and it will spread like wildfire. A second is that personal audio will probably try to collect very small royalties from numerous sources instead of very large royalties from a few sources. Or, I mean, they could do both. But third, as I understand it, I have not seen this, but apparently they made a statement that they were not going to be going after small podcasters, which may be true, because if there's no money in the big podcasters, there's certainly no money in small podcasters. But if they do start going after podcasters, I got a couple of names I could send them to make sure they don't overlook them. I'm kidding.
Vinny. Okay, Mike.
What?
Even though Googling and Google It are now common phrases, a federal court ruled that the Google trademark is still a valid trademark instead of a generic term.
For now.
Unlike former trademarks such as escalator, aspirin, or yo-yo.
Yep.
The court distinguished between consumers using Google as a verb, such as Google it, which didn't automatically make the term generic, and consumers using Google to describe one player in the market, which 90% plus of consumers still do. So they have a trademark on the word Google, and I don't think they should ever lose it, should they?
They can. Should aspirin have been lost? What about Xerox? You remember they did a campaign about 25 years ago for Xerox, which I thought was brilliant. It said there are 2 R's in Xerox. Now, for any of you who go to public schools, Xerox is spelled Xerox.
Right.
If you look at the word spelled out, there's only 1 R in it. But what they are saying is that the correct spelling is Xerox with an R in a circle beside it, indicating that it is a federally registered trademark. So there are 2 R's in Xerox, because Xerox is or was, I don't think so anymore, maybe, I don't know, is at risk of becoming a generic mark. If you get a mark that is generic, it is unprotectable. Anyone can use it. You could have Canon saying, if you need a new Xerox machine, buy the ABC 123 from Canon. And Xerox, if the mark were determined to be generic, would not be protectable. A case in point, aspirin used to be a registered trademark, but it became generic. So you have Bayer brand aspirin, right? That's like saying Bayer brand. What's the name for ibuprofen? We don't buy brand names. But what's the brand name? Advil.
There's a bunch of them. There's not a bunch of them, but there are others. You're right.
But that would be like saying, be sure to buy Bayer brand Advil.
Who owned aspirin? Bayer?
I don't recall. No, I don't know. You could find out, but I don't recall.
Interesting. There's a lot to that world of trademarks and patents and all that kind of stuff that's...
All right, don't know. Shift gears just a second because I need input from the group.
You what?
I need input from the group.
Okay.
All right. My daughter is desperately trying to buy a new car. The engine blew up in her husband's car. The aspect of this is that one common place to look for a new car is Craigslist. Craigslist is a website. You have to have a computer to get the site. There we go. Now we have a technical connection. She sent me a link last night to a car that she liked the looks of. I'm going to post that link in chat just now. Of course, it's delayed here, but it's already there now. So I posted a link in chat to a car she's looking at. And I would like for anyone who's good at this stuff to take a look at that link and tell me if you think this is a scam. And I'm going to tell you why I think it is. It may not be. It may be totally legit. And I'll tell you why in a moment. But I would ask you to look at this listing, and because I would say, I don't know what the number is, but based on my experience, 30 or 40% of the car listings on Craigslist are scams. I mean, the number is dramatically high. Craigslist for a high dollar purchase scares me to death. Even where the cars are legitimate, you go over there, if you know where to look, you can see they've been sawed in half and glued back together, welded back together. Two different cars. A car that had the front end totaled and the rear end crashed. They glue them together and resell them. But so this is a Camry CE, clean title, low miles, only 100,000 miles, great shape, super clean inside, sunroof. I mean, everything looks good here, but I'm a little suspect. And I want to see if anyone, in looking at this listing, is there anything here that would cause you to be suspicious? One thing that does not make me suspicious is that it's written in all caps. Most scammers actually write things that are pretty well written and they look very credible. And who knows? Maybe they're doing it in caps to try to throw people off. I don't know that. I don't know if this one is legitimate. But quite candidly, when somebody posts the VIN number, I wonder if that's a cause for concern.
No.
But is there anything about this that would suggest to you that it's not on the up and up?
Oh, okay, first of all, that looks like it's a dealer's listing. That doesn't look like an individual. An individual...
That in and of itself wouldn't bother me that much. But it's parked in a residential section. Why would it be a dealer?
I don't know. Either that or the guy is actually working at a dealer. He knows to take a lot of pictures. He knows how to advertise and how to describe. I don't know that I would be worried about it. I would go look at it. And besides,
Dr. John, you said A&A Auto Sales in Fuquay. Are you saying that's where she should go see someone, or are you saying that that's who's making this listing? But again, in looking at this, I need I'm going to start pointing out some things that are not necessarily in and of themselves indicative of an issue, but things that I watch for. One is that there's no license plate on the car.
That's
How
fine.
many people? Well, I mean, some people do that. I get that if they buy a new car and they don't want to they transfer the tag. So that
Right.
in and of itself, that's not a big deal. I'm more concerned when I see the license tag blurred out, not blocked out, blurred out. Because a lot of these scammers are really good at using Photoshop to blur out tag numbers. If I listed my car on Craigslist, I would not show the tag number either, but I'm not sure that I would do the blurring. That in and of itself is not a big deal. But do you see anything else here that gives you pause?
No. Nothing would stop me from going and looking at this one.
Wait a minute, they're saying Googling the phone number. Did I miss the phone number? Is there a phone number listed here? I don't see a number.
If you click on show contact info, it will put up the phone number.
Gotcha. That's good to know. Very, very good to know.
Yeah.
But here's something that concerns me, and again, this may be absolutely legitimate. I sent an email to them asking them if the car can be seen. They haven't responded yet. If it's a dealer and they're not open on the weekend, then that would explain why I haven't heard back from them. Let me verify that I have not heard back from them. Let's see here. Nope, have not heard back from them yet. But that's okay. A lot of people don't check their email on the weekend. And Alan is exactly right. How do you test drive an uninsured car or a car with no tag on it? Well, if it's a dealer, he might have a dealer tag, and his insurance, I think, covers it.
Right.
That's certainly one reason to buy from a dealer. And but here's something that just sets me off a little bit, and this just goes to show how suspicious I am about things. If you look on that listing, look at the very last picture. What's the very last picture?
The radio, the console?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What station, what frequency is that radio set to?
I don't know, 101.9.
There is no 101.9 in Raleigh.
I might know why that's set to 101.9.
Why?
You know those little FM receivers you buy for your car so that you
Right.
can stream music? That would explain that. But
Well,
this car has an aux, so that doesn't really make any sense either.
Well, it could. I mean that's a valid observation.
But it does have an aux, so that really kind of shoots that out of the water.
Well, there's another option too, that somebody could have been cleaning the car up and bumped the buttons whenever they're cleaning the dash.
Or the
Can
person
be.
honestly doesn't listen, or the person just doesn't listen to the radio and they listen to stuff on their phone and they've never set the FM radio before.
That's a real possibility. Well, I'm glad I brought it up because I did not see that click for detailed information, and that phone number, that's I'm glad to know that. I'd never seen that before because I don't automatically trust everything I see on Craigslist.
As you shouldn't. You should be skeptical of stuff on Craigslist because it's not like eBay. There's no upper being to help you out when
The dealer buys cars at auctions, correct. And again, sometimes they're not what you think they are. And by the way, I saw a show on 2020 or somewhere where they were talking about how unreliable a Carfax is.
Yeah.
show me.
I mean, it's still something to look into, but I wouldn't base everything on it. I mean,
Mike,
I think you can. I think you can get some kind of a permit from DMV to drive.
The owner can.
What?
The owner can.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is a local car. It's here. It's not like you're buying from eBay when it's sight unseen.
Right.
You go there and you can look at it. You can call the police with the VIN number and find out if it's stolen or anything like that, if there's anything wrong with this. I don't know. You can ask the owner if they are the original owners and show you some of the receipts.
But if it's bought from an auction, they're not going to know anything about it.
I know, but you can ask for that.
Yeah.
And it may be a personal car, and they just want to sell it, and everything that you're worried about here is.
Hey, Mike, I know another solution here.
Yes.
Why don't you just buy a new car?
Not going to happen. I'm not buying anything. It's my daughter who's looking, and they don't have enough money to pay cash for a new. Oh, I'm sorry, you don't understand that, Nick. They're not-
Mike, they could just go get a credit card.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
See, Mike, I'm glad that I'm here to help you.
I am too. I don't know what we'd do without you.
It would be a real shame. I went to Target. That's why my little absence there.
Well, you see, there you go. Here, Support Hero is saying that it has the same phone number as A Auto Sales.
Yeah, that's what they determined. Somebody ran a test
Yeah.
on it and determined it was A&A Auto Sales in Fuquay.
Yeah.
Which in and of itself, does North Carolina have a lemon law? Yes, but not for used cars. When you buy a used car in North Carolina, unless you have a written warranty, it is where is, as is. If it
Yep.
blows up on the way home, you're out of luck.
Well, this is good. That it's definitely a dealer. You can take a dealer
Well,
plate
depends.
and take it to John and have him go over it.
Well, it depends.
Why?
Depends. Because there is, and I'm not sure what the latest laws are, but there is a group of quote unquote dealers. What are these guys are doing nothing but buying junk cars and patching them together and reselling them with a dealer's license on yard. And I would suggest that if you go to a big dealer and buy a car, you get a warranty from them, that warranty would be worth something. But if you get it from someone who's late making his house payment every month, or his rent payment, or his credit card payment, then what good is a warranty issued by that person?
Mike,
Nobody.
Mike, if you go to Leith to buy a used car,
Yes.
you'll see right on the window, as is, no warranty.
Correct. But they will sell you a warranty is what I was saying.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't recommend buying one, but they would sell you one.
Yeah, but you can, I mean, definitely. I mean, you can go and take if they are not going to provide you with a dealer plate to take it to your mechanic to look over it, then I'll be worried. Right now, looking at this, I'm not worried.
Why wouldn't you buy the warranty, Mike? I'm just curious.
Because they generally don't pay off.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I mean, even extended warranties. Who is it we were listening to talking about these things? I guess it was, who's the guy from Atlanta on the radio?
Not Dave Ramsey.
The other guy.
I'm not sure who the other guy is.
Oh,
Whoever.
for gosh sakes.
What about it?
He gets calls from people a lot of time complaining that these extended warranties cover everything except what breaks. There are very few things that they cover, and Dr. John is right. Third-party warranties tend to be quite shady.
Fact.
Clark Howard. There you go.
Yeah.
Very smart guy. I met him.
I don't think I've ever listened to him.
He's worth listening to. He's kind of hard to listen to because he's very deliberate in the way he speaks. I've heard him say one time.
I wish I could say that.
He's very deliberate, but what he does when he talks is he talks quite slowly, as far as I know, to ensure that he does not intentionally say, he gets a little old after a while.
Or he could just say, every 13 seconds, like everybody else.
Every 2 seconds. Like.
That
Brent
like
says
bad.
he's purchased 2 cars off Craigslist. I've probably purchased 5 or 6 cars off Craigslist. Knock on wood, my total scam quotient for Craigslist has probably been about $1,000. We purchased a car, drove it, everything was fine. The first week we had it, the check engine light came on. And that check engine light was because of O2 sensors, which are known to be problems with this car. And it turns out that the guy who sold it to us more than likely had reset those sensors. It would take more than a week for them to turn on.
It's pretty common.
Well,
Thanks for that, Amnon.
now let me ask, if anyone in chat in the area has a car for sale that gets good gas mileage and has no more than 100 or so thousand miles on it, let me know. They desperately, very quickly. If you know of one, if you see one, she found a Honda Fit on Craigslist Friday night at 9 o'clock when it was first listed, $7,000. I mean, this thing looked great. It looked so good. It was almost, his tag was actually posted. It was in Chapel Hill, but you can overlook that. She contacted the lady immediately. At 9 o'clock the next morning, she got an email back saying,
It
Oh
was
my
so
gosh, somebody just left with the car. We must have underpriced it. In fact, we sold it for $7,500 because so many people wanted it, and they just left with the car.
That's unfortunate.
It wasn't meant.
Well, it's frustrating because it would have been the good car. Yeah, I don't
Yep.
think a 75 Ford Torino Starsky and Hutch would serve their needs. It's not really good on gas.
And this is your daughter that is looking for the car?
Son-in-law are looking for a car, yes.
And is this your daughter that is has no credit, no debt?
Yes,
Okay, cool.
she's going to pay cash.
Mike, I would tell her to get a loan.
I was told to put it on a credit card. Get a cash advance. And anyone who's listening to this discussion needs to understand that it is all very, very cynical that we are saying because we don't believe in debt.
Well, yeah, Mike being an older gentleman and me being a young guy, he has passed along some helpful tips when it comes to money and all that stuff. So it's inside joke kind of stuff. But,
Yes, it is.
but still very. So when I say you should put the car on a credit card, I don't mean it literally.
Absolutely not.
Mike's a very firm believer of buying everything with cash.
Right. And if you don't
Except
have
for
cash,
house.
you can afford it.
There you go. And it doesn't go over well with everybody, I can assure you.
Yeah, a lot of people certainly like selling themselves into slavery. That's a fact.
It is
All
too
right.
real of a fact.
When
Switching topics, Amnon.
when we started the show, Nick was saying, "Oh, Bambuser changed the player," and I didn't notice it, but I've been looking at it now, and sure enough, it's different. And you know what else is different? They
Tell us.
don't. What is 360p?
A resolution?
Is that low? That's low, right?
No, that is what you're doing. You're doing 360p.
Well, how come right now, if I go full screen on Bambuser, it's blurry, but on Daily Motion, if I click the 480, it is beautiful. I mean, it is clear as a bell.
I'm not sure. This is not a good time to troubleshoot this.
So if anybody is watching,
I'm looking at Daily Motion. It's not crystal clear when you pull it full screen. It looks awful.
I don't know, looks
Crystal clear. I can't even watch it. And first of all, there's not even a 480p option on Daily Motion.
I do.
I don't know what I cannot read the text at the bottom of Daily Motion.
Mike? Oh,
Yes.
I was just wondering if you can do it, because if I click on the 380 up there, because it comes up default, I have 380 and I have source.
No, you just said 480.
I'm sorry, yeah. Well, I
480 and
think, what is
360
source?
two different things. Source is what you're. No, it is much clearer on Bambuser than it is
Really?
on Daily Motion. Yes,
Boozer is only 360, like you were saying, Nick.
it is. But Daily Motion is absolutely awful.
Not
It's unreadable.
Later.
Not for me. That's interesting. That's very interesting.
Yeah. See, even Andrew's saying the same thing.
I don't
Bambuser's-
see any blur to the little text.
I don't know what kind of screen you're looking at it on, but there is
A laptop.
Okay, what's the size of the screen on the laptop?
I don't know, maybe
15.
17.
Is it 16:9 or 4:3?
It's 16:9.
I don't know. It
Interesting.
definitely is
Okay,
not
no,
clear.
I mean, I was just talking about, I mean, you were saying that they changed it, and sure enough, it does look a little different with that menu where it is and all that. But then I said, oh, shoot, I can't even get it to go to higher resolution. They didn't used to have it like that you can go to different ones.
It's called transcoding.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Okay, now that I go back to it, Adobe Flash keeps crashing. All right, never mind. Talk about privacy and not collecting data. Sturbridge students, and that's in Britain, will soon be able to pay for their lunch without searching their pockets for change.
Oh.
Red Hill School has spent £20,000 updating its dining facilities and introducing a cashless catering system. The system will allow parents to deposit funds into students' catering accounts to be debited by the pupil's biometric fingerprint scan at the point of sale. Head teacher Stephen Dunster said the benefits are that pupils are less likely to lose cash, parents know their children are using their dinner money to buy nutritious food, and there will also be a system to alert staff if students are purchasing food that they may be allergic to. What else are they going to collect?
Well, what I don't understand here is why don't they use the PIN code system?
The what?
The PIN code system. Why don't they just have the little PIN code things?
I don't know. I guess because somebody sold them.
Yeah, but they're making it seem like, oh, your one option is either cash or you have to give us your DNA so that we can.
Yeah.
Or fingerprint. There's many other alternatives there. You can do the PIN. I think all public schools have the PIN code thing. You can pay with cash.
The only thing is, I don't know if this is high school or elementary school, which is interesting.
No, that's a college. You said a university.
But
this is happening in the United States as well. There's a school in upstate New York that has just recently adopted the fingerprint reader for lunch. Which I don't think is a bad idea. I really don't.
Well,
especially when you've got people that are gaming the system with the free and reduced lunches, which they are. There's kids with free lunch that buy it for like 4 people.
Yep.
Or they'll buy 4 lunches, and that'll cut down on that, I hope. Meanwhile, I'm spending freaking $3 on lunch for absolutely nothing anyway. So, it's interesting. We'll see. I don't think it's a bad idea though, because hopefully it'll cut down on that stuff. But there you go.
Here's something that we can get into a discussion about.
Oh boy.
Mike, you listening, or you are into something else?
I'm listening and I'm into something else. Go ahead.
Here's the guy writing. Now that I've spent close to a month digitizing a desk drawer's worth of VHS tapes, deinterlacing and post-processing the originals to minimize years of tape decay, and compressing everything down to H.264, I found myself with a hard drive full of loosely organized videos. They'll get picked up by my existing monthly backup, but I feel like I haven't gained much in the way of redundancy as I thought I would. Instead of having tapes slowly degrade, I am now open to losing entire movies at once, should both of my drives go bad. Does anyone maintain a library, and if so, what would they recommend? Is having them duplicated on 2 drives, one of which is spun down for all but 1 day of the month, a good enough long-term strategy? Should I look into additionally backing up to optical discs or flash drives, building out a better rated backup machine, or even keeping the original tapes around despite them having been digitized? So, Mike, did you do any audio digitizing?
Not recently.
I mean, at all. You did?
Sure.
What'd you do with the tapes?
Still have them.
And where did you back up the digital copies? Just
to an installed drive and a USB drive of a different brand, different size, different level.
That is not connected to the computer.
Right, and also some of them were also copied over to DVDs.
Okay.
I don't understand that post at all.
What do you mean?
Well, I agree with what he says. That what if you lose both drives? You say, well, that's never going to happen.
No, but I don't even think that's a valid point.
I think it's a great point.
What if your house burns down? You lose all your stuff. I mean, you can make up a million excuses for everything.
It happens.
You could have 600 backups, and there's a possibility that a big magnetic storm could come down and ruin everything. I mean,
Probability.
Yeah.
At some point, this guy's saying, "Oh, well, I've got 2 backups and the original tapes, but I feel like I need more redundancy." Well, what do you want to do? Go put them in Fort Knox then if you don't want them to be.
Well, EMP would get into Fort Knox.
It's just I think the post is stupid.
It's
Well,
not
part of
stupid at all. You don't
part of
have
it-
anything yet. Wait
No,
until
that's
you.
not true. That's not true. I do backups, but I don't sit here and wonder, well, if both of my hard drives in my computer crash and Carbonite crashes, I'm going to be really screwed. Yeah, you know what? If all that stuff happens, then it all happens. But I mean, how many backups should I have? 1 million?
That would improve
The
your
more the
chances
better.
of not
It
losing.
would improve your more the better. But at what point do you stop? He's got 2 backups and the physical. Plus,
I would
he's
argue that
backing
too.
it up online.
If you're transferring degrading tapes and you only have 2 backups of it, you're at risk. Why do I say that? And you say, well, what 2 backups? The reason I would say that it's at risk is because what the likely scenario is that let's suppose that you back up your video to 2 drives, one that you use regularly and one that's your golden safety that you'll never need. It's very possible that let's suppose that at some point in time that this local drive that you use regularly, it crashes. Oh, that's okay. I've got a backup. You go grab the backup and it won't boot. It won't start up. I've had it happen.
Yeah, and there's a probability with all that. But he's doing 2 backups and then he's got a cloud backup.
Well, cloud backup too. I mean, it's like Jim says I'd back it up to Amazon Glacier.
But it's the same thing.
Well, it is, and except that they also, as far as I know, do they back up their own backups?
They do, but Amazon Glaciers, they store to Blu-ray. That's how Glacier works.
What do you mean?
You upload your files to Amazon Glacier, they burn it to a Blu-ray. There's a machine that takes it out, and they put them in these cases. I believe that's one of the Amazon services. I'm not sure if it's Glacier. That's what they do. And then when you call them, somebody will go grab the disk, put it in the computer again, or put it in something again so that you can access the files.
Yeah, that has a lot of merit.
I think we just got to back it up to get it back.
That's exactly right. And
Well, he
you
needs
practice
an
that.
offside backup, but it is impossible to have 100% backup. It is impossible to
Right.
be 100% backed up.
I understand that, but just because you can't be perfect does not mean you cannot strive for perfection.
Correct, but at what point? This guy's got 4 backups. He's got 4 copies of this thing. At what point is he safe? Is 4 not enough? Is 10
Here's the
enough?
scoop, Nick. I mean, again, one of the benefits of you being on the show, which provides an exceptionally good dimension to this show, is that we are from different generations, right?
Correct.
You see things differently than we do. We look at the way we've always done it, and you look at the new way of doing things. I would argue that since you're not married with kids, grandkids, whatever the case may be, that the historical backups may not have as much depth in your perception as they do for us, because we've lived through losing pictures. I've got stuff from when I was a kid. I don't even know where it is. And when I become rich and famous, people are going to want to know these things, and I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to provide that.
So, Mike, I guess I'm in between ages, right? Like, I guess I'm in between you guys.
Physically, you are. Mentally, go ahead.
Mentally, I'm a child, but
Whatever.
so the way that I back my stuff up, and I've always done this even before GFQ, I have a RAID backup, a RAID 1, which I'm pretty much duplicating everything from one hard drive to another. So that's my backup. I have the original, which is sitting on another drive. So my backup is not my master copy. So I have 2 local copies of everything. And then I have the cloud backup. So it's 3 backups.
Yeah, but Andrew, what if your house burns down and then Carbonite's data center gets bombed by terrorists? Then you lose all your backups.
I don't do Carbonite.
Okay, well, who's your backup provider?
I don't want to say.
Oh, great. They get attacked. What happens?
Well, but that's a chance. That's a risk. Anything is a risk.
And that's exactly what I was saying in respect to this guy. He's got 2 hard drive backups locally. He's doing a cloud backup, and he's got the original.
That's great. That's plenty.
That's perfectly fine, and he doesn't seem to be content with it, and it doesn't make any sense.
But it also, Nick, to be honest, how important is this data?
Well,
How will it
he said it's movies. I can't imagine how important those are.
Well, I don't know.
He
It depends how
spent
important this stuff is.
he spent
Say
a
it.
month. He spent a month digitizing them. You don't think they're important?
No,
Only
but
one person talk at a time.
He said that they're movies.
Maybe family films. I mean,
But
that's
he said he'll lose full movies.
No, he did not. He said a drawer full of VHS tapes.
Now keep reading it though. Towards the end, he said something about post the article. Towards the end, he said something about losing his movie collection or something like that. Post the link.
There is no link. It's on paper. I don't see. Okay, yeah, he said, I'm open to losing entire movies. Movies. He's not talking about losing all his movies. He's probably has home tapes and movies and other stuff. It's all on VHS. And Nick, you somehow assumed that he said he's got an off site. He does not. He said they'll get picked up by my existing monthly backup.
okay.
So that would be existing a monthly backup. What is he backing up to monthly?
I don't know. Probably the other hard drive, because he said he should. Both of my drives go bad. I'm assuming it's his active drive and backup drive.
Yeah, that's not good. He needs an offsite backup.
He needs an
but you gotta
offsite.
But you got to remember what he's backing up. An offsite backup might not be feasible for him.
That's possible, but let's take Andrew's situation and dissect it a tiny bit. He has a RAID array. That RAID array prevents him from losing his local hard drive, having to deal with going to a backup. That's the purpose of the RAID array. If he loses one drive, theoretically, all he has to do is he'll get a notice, replace the drive. He goes through with no burps, no interruptions, no nothing. That's the proper way of some sort of RAID array. You could argue that a RAID 5 with 3 or 4 drives would be even better. Maybe. All right. Now, secondarily, he has a local backup. That's in case he gets into I don't know what the numbers is. If he gets into a situation where he loses both drives in his RAID array, then he has to resort to his local backup. This is maybe a 10% chance. If he goes to that local backup and nothing's there, then he goes into the Armageddon situation, which he then goes to the offline backup. The suggestions that we've had here have always been that you should never have to go to your offline backup.
Absolutely right. So my offline backup, I have 2 separate sources for my offline backup. One is Dropbox, and I store all my local stuff there. I also have a secondary backup that I host privately.
Mm-hmm.
And for images, I have my images backed up to multiple sources, so I can never lose that.
You know, and I'm thinking I'm going to do this. We keep talking about what if your house burned down?
Are you going to set your house on fire?
No.
That's what he's been thinking about.
But I can put a computer with a big drive in the garage, outside, in an outside structure. Now I have outside structures. But you can put it off-site on your own property. I mean, if you're in an apartment and the building burns down, that's one thing. But if you're in a house...
I have a feeling that guy would say to you, well, what if somebody was to drop a bomb on your property? Then you would lose all your backups.
Right. There's always a situation. But
that's what I
remember,
think this guy's getting at.
Nick, what you are missing here is we are not saying that there is a way to be 100% safe in a case of everything. We are striving to be as protected as possible.
But I believe that guy is looking for some way to be 100% safe, and it's not possible. He's saying he's making.
No, he's asking what else he should do, and I would say, right off the bat, get an off-site storage. If it's real important, get 2 of them, because if it's real important, then you can spend the money for it.
Yeah, That's saying that he's got the bandwidth to do that.
Why don't we all just mail our hard drives to Steve Gibson's house?
Another thing is you can put it on a hard. You
I
can.
had an incident recently, and I thought it would be interesting for the audience to hear about relying too much on cloud backup and the situation I was put in. So I have a service called iTunes Match, which is phenomenal. So for $24 a year, iTunes will match up all your MP3s, even if they're not purchased legally. It'll match it up to their app store, update the cover art, update everything to 320K AAC. So it does all this updating, and it stores everything to the cloud. So what I did, because I have an SSD in this Mac, I deleted it. So every time I log into iTunes, all my MP3s are there. I've also done the same with Google and Amazon. So I have redundant cloud backup of my MP3s. But those MP3s are associated to the Apple ID that's associated to iTunes. So Apple released a service in their latest update called iTunes Family Sharing. So essentially, whatever you iTunes, no matter what service you were signed up for, you can now share these services with your family members. And according to Apple's website, iTunes Match is supposed to be covered under this. Well, it turns out it's not. So I don't have access to my MP3s because that's associated to Jessica's ID. I removed Jessica's ID from my account, and I gave it to her, and I created a new account. So when I put in share iTunes Match, whatever it is, it's not working. I don't know if this is the nature of iTunes Match and how they're doing it, or it's a bug. I don't know that. So what I had to do, I had to install iTunes on another computer, log in with Jessica's account, re-download all the music, put it into another folder, log out, log back in with my account, resync the MP3s, and upload it to my I had to purchase iTunes Match for my account and upload it to that.
Mm-hmm. Well, you did what you had to do.
Well, no, because iTunes. Why wouldn't iTunes Match be part of the family share? Why would they disable that? Brian is sharing. I'm doing it wrong. I'm not doing it wrong at all. This is what 99% of people with iTunes Match are going to try to do. They're going to try to sync it with all their family members because now you've disassociated the account that they were using and they've created their own account. This is totally backwards.
No, Andrew, Apple is perfect, so you must be doing it wrong.
This is totally backwards. Brian had recommended what I should do is take over Jessica's account, change all of her information to me, and create a new account to her. Fine, but how does she access those songs on iTunes Match? She can't.
Can she just log in?
Most people have been sharing an iTunes Match account because it's associated to one iTunes account. So everything you've been uploading to that cloud account, if you create a new iTunes account, if you create a new Apple ID, you will no longer be able to access those stuff that you've been uploading to iTunes Match. Now, I'm positive they're going to fix this later down the line. They probably didn't think this out too well. Or they want you to buy another iMatch account, which I'm fine with. I'm fine with spending the $24 for the year. It's not much. But they should have come up with a better plan for this. But that's relying on the cloud too much.
Are you saying that there is no way for one person to log into another person's account?
There is. You can, but the whole point of the whole point of family sharing is that you don't have to log into your relatives.
Okay.
So generally, let's say you're a family, right? Mm-hmm. Amnon's my dad, Mike is my mom, Nick is my brother, and I'm the sister.
That's terrifying.
A very happy family. And we've been using Amnon's account because he's the man to iTunes. So we're all using his iTunes account to do all our purchases. So all our music, all our applications, everything. That's fine. But Amnon also has iTunes Match. So whatever MP3s all our computers has been syncing to iTunes Match, which is a cloud service.
Okay.
The new family sharing comes out. Amnon says, okay, guys, I'm going to be the master account. All of you have to create your own accounts now. So Nick, Mike, and myself create our own Apple ID. Anything we have ever bought on iTunes syncs. Any applications that we've bought, any books we've bought, all sync. The only thing that will not sync is the iTunes Match. Because that belongs to the master account holder.
Yes, so
that's where the problem is. It's not shareable.
Yeah. I get it. Well,
there's a problem there.
Yep.
But Amnon,
Mike, do you remember what we used to do for backups in the early days with tapes or discs?
sure, rotate them.
Rotate them and you always took one and take it home from the office and
Right.
keep it somewhere else. And
But I have a question for you, Amnon.
yeah,
You have your own ISP. You have your own facility where you could be backing up to an off-site facility that only you have access to.
right.
Why would you set up something else on your own property?
It's faster. I mean, to go to the
But you're doing incremental backups. It's
yeah,
not
that's
backing
true.
up,
That's
know.
true. That's true. You're right.
The protection and safety of the center that your servers are in is 100 times more than the shed
Yes.
out behind your house.
Yeah, I know. Ron is actually backing up to a drive over there, and it's done
There you go.
automatically at night. Yeah,
There you go. That
yeah, true.
makes once you have it set up, give me the IP address. And as with regard to how long it takes to get it done, there was an article posted back in July. I don't know that we ever talked about it. Don't know if there's any update. I don't. Also, Brent may be here. He may have kept up with these things as well. But Time Warner said that it will begin transforming TV in 2015. Charlotte, Dallas, Hawaii, Kansas City, Raleigh, San Antonio, and San Diego. These markets will join Los Angeles, New York City, and recently announced Austin, where the service transformation, known as TWC Max, is underway. And more than 3 million customers in these cities will have access to internet speeds up to 6 times faster than before. Let me get past the crap. And customers who subscribe to any of the 6 internet plans will receive an increase in speeds at no additional cost, with customers experiencing increases up to 6 times. For example, customers who subscribe to standard service, formerly up to 15 megabits per second, will now receive up to 50 megabits per second. Customers who subscribe to the ultimate plan, formerly 100 megabits per second, will receive up to 300 megabits per second at no extra charge. Some customers will need a DOCSIS 3.0 modem to enjoy the full benefits of the speed increases. For business customers, we don't care about that. New TV experience. Anyway, I did some research on this the last day or so, and it turns out that these upgrades are probably not going to happen until 2015.
Right.
Originally, we were told they were going to be the end of this year, but it doesn't appear that they're in line to do that. The reason I bring it up is it does seem that Time Warner is doing a lot of upgrading and maintenance now, because my Time Warner service this last week has been horrible.
Mm-hmm.
It has dropped in the middle of things. It has into your modem and look at the log in the modem. It's amazing how many errors there are in the log in my modem that are caused by the connectivity on the Time Warner side. Maybe they're out getting the work done. I don't know.
So I'm looking at a different chart, and I think all of us in here, except for Andrew, have the Time Warner Cable Extreme plan, which is 30 by 5. And according to
Like, I have 150 megabits.
I said everybody besides Andrew.
And we hate you.
I
So
don't know how these people live like animals.
you shut up.
So the 30 by 5, they're saying the new speeds will be 200 by 20, but 20, I mean, that's still low. 200 by 20?
Well, just tell them you don't want it, Nick.
I'm not going to get it, so I don't really care.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not. I'm not in that list.
You will.
Who cares? What is it going to be? How I'll be 45 years old by the time Time Warner rolls 200 by 20 out.
Nick, what is this? 2003? 5 megabits.
5 megabits. This is unbelievable. You can't do anything with 5 megabits.
Don't tell Steve that.
Steve who?
Haywood.
He's got like 3 lines. He's making it happen.
He's got 2.
I think it's 2. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it 2?
It is 2. Yeah, 2 5 meg lines.
And it is 5 terabits last month. Terabytes.
Terabits. Pterodactyls.
Pterodactyl. Yeah.
But look at this. The everyday low price customer currently is 2 megabits by 1 megabit. Currently, and they're going to bump that up to 3 megs by 1 megabit.
That's not what they're saying here.
I'm looking at this is the Time Warner Cable website. This is their press release, so I'll post that in here for anybody interested.
I mean, the people that have 15:1,
It's going to bump them up to 50:5.
that's for them. This is overkill.
Yeah.
People that
We've
have
been talking
15:1 don't do anything real serious.
I don't know what the stream sounds like, but even when Nick's talking, I'm getting interruptions in the audio and cutouts. Hopefully, it's not going out over the air like that.
Everybody's getting it. You're getting it. Andrew's getting it.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it my internet? Is it the Hangout? I don't know what it is.
I think it's the Hangout because Andrew was doing it, and I know I'm doing it too. I'll see myself freeze on the stream.
Yeah, I don't know if it's bandwidth or it's Google servers, but things are getting worse, not better.
Yeah, every now and then you get kind of muted for about a second.
It's not even a second. It's very quick.
Yeah, split second.
Oh, somebody's phone is ringing.
My phone.
I'll answer it.
I have no idea who that is.
Answer it.
Delta Force.
No, I'm not going to answer it. This is I have no. It's from XP.
Oh, great. Windows XP is calling you, telling you to upgrade your
looks like
machine.
it. I don't know who that is. Let's see what else we have here. Oh,
here's a good point.
Okay,
Here you go,
ahead.
Andrew.
Yes.
You'll appreciate this. If I ever go missing, I would like my photo to be put on wine bottles instead of milk cartons. This way my friends will know where to look for me.
That would be perfect.
Okay, just checking.
That would be perfect.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
So, Mike, I want to talk about the issues of having a very, I guess,
Andrew, before you keep going, you know what your lower third says, right?
No, what?
You don't know?
No, what are you talking about?
Your lower third, he knows.
I wish I could have a lower third.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead, Andrew.
Oh, what did they say? I don't know.
Joe from Staten Island.
Oh, why would it do that?
I wouldn't know. I wonder who's in charge.
I have no idea. Someone needs to do something about this.
There you go.
It's a VidBlaster problem.
It's a VidBlaster problem. You got to call Mike Versteeg.
Yeah, I'll help you out.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
So, my audio system is you can't really touch it once it's set up. You set it up and then you leave it the way it is. And it's great for 99% of the time. But I had to do live music in the studio on Friday. And it was an utter disaster for me to try to set something up because it's not plug and play. Nothing's plug and play in my studio. So Mike was coming up with a great way to, if you're going to do live music, what you should do. And he suggested something that I think anybody that needs extra mics and an extra setup should do. Just add a second mixer to the setup.
I said that. What do you?
Mike also said it, but Mike said it before you, Mike.
That's. I don't believe you.
Mike did.
It sounded okay.
Mike stole my idea.
But I mean, couldn't anybody use this as if you have a setup, you have a studio, and you don't want to touch it, you don't want to mess with any of the inputs, can't you just add a second mixer to it?
Of course.
But now there's complications of that as well.
But let's go a little bit deeper about why this was the right thing for you to do. There are two things you should have done because the mixer, one of the mixers you have is the 1402 VLZ, which is a very straightforward analog mixer with no effects, no nothing. But that would have been better because you have the Axia console, and to be able to, which means that any input can do anything, such that if you wanted to have 8 microphone inputs, you could program it to do that. But it's a little more difficult to do because you have to change the programming of the setup. It can become confusing. It would be much easier to use a line input on the console connected to the line output of a mixer. Just go in analog. And if you wanted to have live music, you have 2, 3, 4 additional microphones in there going directly into the mixer and then out of the mixer into the console. That's the simplest solution that doesn't create an additional problem on its own. But what's interesting to do, and if you listen back to the presentation that you did, you'll see what I'm talking about. If you find out that you are going to do that more often than, and this I've never recommended, you would actually buy a mixer that has effects on it. For example, the one that Nick and Amnon have, the Behringer 2442, has digital effects on it that you could add reverb, because 98% of the time when you hear music played back that's professionally recorded, it's going to have reverb on it, whether it's natural or fake reverb, and it really makes a big, big difference on a live performance.
And you can buy a cheaper mixer with effects on it.
1204 will do it. But actually there's another way. And in fact, what I then said after we said that is there is now a group or a series of external reverb or effects units, Lexicon units, I forget, MPX 200s or something like that, you can get for $100 that you can add reverb to this external mixer by using it as a plug-in or even as the series output. So you wouldn't even have to buy a new mixer. He's already got a mixer that he could use. It has plenty of microphone inputs. But because, in a recording setting, more often than not, you're going to have 35 microphones at any one time if you're recording drums and all that stuff, which is way overkill for a live broadcast. But he could have easily used 1, 2, 3, 4 microphones. It would have been better for him to have 4 strategically placed microphones, one on the guitar vocalist, one on the guitar sound hole, another on this beatbox drum device, and a vocal mic for the guy talking on the beat drum thing. That would have been the convenient way to do it. But if he were able to add...
Tied to the entire family.
What in the world?
But had he added reverb to the vocalist, the difference would have been dramatic.
And that would have made it sound a whole lot better.
Yeah, it actually hides some of the room echo because reverb in and of itself is echo.
The part that I was listening sounded okay. The only
what was wrong with it? It's go ahead.
No, go ahead. You froze. I thought you finished. Go ahead.
No, I said that it was not an issue of what did he do wrong. It's what could he have done better if he wanted to go to the next level doing that sort of presentation.
Mike, can you or Nick, whoever has Dirty Boxers in their a way to send him the link?
No, he can call.
Because
I don't.
I don't. I mean, the way that I'm set up, I can't send it to him.
Can't he call in on Skype?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's.
UK voice.
Reading his
Andrew,
first comment, I think that's what he meant.
Okay, Andrew,
So,
I was wondering, the guy that was sitting, not the guitar player, the other guy, was actually drumming on the chair he was sitting on. What was that? But it sounded. What?
It was a box. It was like a beat box.
Oh, okay. Because it can't sound like that when you do it just on a box. It looked like it was sitting on a box.
No, I think it's called a Typhoon.
Okay.
Whoa.
I forgot what the actual thing is, but he had
It was pretty good.
heat on it.
I see GBS's comment in chat. It's pretty good. Slime Warner. That's a good one. I haven't heard that before.
Dirty Boxers, are you going to call in on Computers 2K Voice?
Eventually, if he wants to.
All right, I have to go. It's almost 11.
You keep saying it. You keep saying it.
Where are you going?
I have to go start drinking.
It's football day.
I know.
Are you going to be home later?
I'm going to Astoria to watch the games.
Well, you're going to leave me home all day.
Oh, you're not? You're going to be home watching the games now that I'm going out.
I won't be. I'm going to be out. I won't be home either. I'm sorry.
Well, I have to go get ready for the football.
The football. You're going to watch the New York Football Giants.
No, I'm going to watch the St. Louis Yankee Rams.
Beat the Jets.
Oh.
And they're playing the New York Mets.
Hello, Dirty Boxers.
All right, bye-bye for now, guys.
Bye, Andrew.
Bye, Andrew.
Always remember, you're going to be a sufferer too one day.
Too late.
Why can't I hear Dirty Boxers?
Well, Andrew
Oh.
and I can't be in the same place.
There you are.
We are the same
Nice. You
person.
sound like Andrew and Mike.
Exactly.
What's going on?
Not bad. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad.
That makes two of us. How about Nick? Well, hold on. Where's Mike? Hold on. Mike, how are you?
I have a question for you, Lee.
Well, before we get into the pleasantries of questions, how are you?
I am very well, thank you.
Okay, now you can ask me the evil question.
Are you doing a show every day?
We are back on Monday, tomorrow.
You have
We are-
but the reason I'm asking is because on whenisiton.net, you only have a Saturday show listed.
Yeah, that some of my listeners, because eventually I said, look, I need time off. I'm being selfless here, setting up a charity, right? So I'm taking on a little bit too much here, and I need to stop doing the show for a bit. And so some of my listeners must be very bored or dull, to the point where they went, can we just take over the show until you're back? And it was like, yeah, sure. Hence a Saturday show.
Okay.
Which
That's
was
cool.
brilliant.
So your audience decided, in lack of you, they were just going to start doing this like a little kind of impromptu show every Saturday.
Exactly. Which was amazing. And listening back to it, it was like really good stuff. And I'm questioning, like, why don't they do this more often? But it's, I've tried to paint them into a corner where now I've had a Saturday show not done by me, Nick. Right. Now this is where my mind's going. I want it more often. They're not willing because now I'll be back on Monday. And it was like, it's this catch-22 scenario. So if I don't come back, I will then have a Saturday show that I do actually want. It's the politics of the world of podcasting. It's amazing. It really is high-quality merchandise.
It's cool. It's cool that your fan base is loyal enough that they'd be willing to do something like that.
Yeah, seriously, a majority of them aren't listening. They're not, they're still hungover, not woken up yet. So, I can say for the record that I was it was a warm, fuzzy feeling when they did individually approached and said, "Can we do this?" And from that, it was like, "Oh wow." It's only taken 6 years, and now all of a sudden people are like willing to take over. And it's like, oh, brilliant.
Very cool.
I need to go on holidays more often.
Yeah, no, you don't have to do any work. It's great.
Exactly. This is encouraging me not to do more stuff.
Uh-oh.
Don't be like me. Don't just totally fade off the face of the earth about it.
Well, occasionally, I did pop in once in a while when I was equally hungover, but because I'm 5 hours ahead, it sounded worse than it was. It was like they've started going at 9 a.m. and they're a little bit hungover on Saturdays and stuff like that. Meanwhile, I'm just coming in from the pub from the night before, thinking it's a good idea to call into my own show that I'm not on. It's like a bit weird, but all well and good. It was all good. So, anyway, Amnon, how are you, mate? Sorry for...
I am just finally missed you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, here we go. And now again for feeling. What was that? That was fake. That felt like Walt Disney World, that did. What were you doing? But yeah, so it's been a busy old time.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, I do listen. But it's one of those situations where I'm trying to get more towards actual listening.
Mm-hmm.
I've kind of got a little bit of an internet kind of Wi-Fi radio thing going on. I'm trying to go back to more of a traditional listening to radio, not caring about the bandwidths and stuff like that, because obviously everything's an IP address now. So that's what I've been trying to go it down and experiment with that. And if that is that good enough, or now have I been tarnished with a chat room? Have I been tarnished with seeing a moving video? Do I now have to expect that to happen as a consumer of this sort of stuff? I've just been mucking around having a bit of fun.
Now, you said you're working on a charity?
Oh yes, this was Nick. a little tip, right? I feel like I'm as old as Amnon right now, so I feel like I can. Can you sit on my knee for a second? I've got.
Listen to the kid.
Listen here, right? Don't go on a rant on your show for no good reason. Don't do it, because if you do it, suddenly you're painted into a corner, and then you've got to like show face and like go, all right, then I'll do it then. So pixelated projects is now a thing. It is like legally a thing. Which is weird. It's technically in US law, it would be its own person. I've created over the summer another person called Pixelated Projects. It's a charity in the UK. It's still very early stages. I'm being promised stuff by politicians, and then they just go slithering off, and then I don't get it, and it's been like set back by stuff like that. But pixelatedprojects.org, it is a thing. It has a purple logo. It is a thing. It is huge, and I need friends, Mike. Mike, I'm looking at you because you're
this is
of knowledge.
100%. You started this pixelated project thing?
I am the founder of Mike. You know me. I'm a bit of a douche, mate. I shouldn't be the founder of a charity.
Well, but if you were in the United States, you could found a charity, and you would be the charity.
No,
all the
not
income would go to you.
I tell you what, originally, because obviously the interesting thing about setting all this up, and like a huge amount of education had to happen. I originally wanted to call it the Pixel Foundation, but in the US, you can do that. Just call it whatever you want. Here in the UK, a foundation is a particular type of organization, and you've been restricted by particular things, which would restrict what we want to do. So we couldn't call, even though it's a freaking cool name, I couldn't call it the Pixel Foundation.
Why?
Maybe the US arm. Sorry, mate?
Wait, why can't you call it that?
Because in the US, because I was thinking about like the electronics, what is it called? The Electronics Frontier Foundation and like the Freedom Foundation and blah, 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 blah. I was hoping to grow a beard and like join them lot. That was my plan. Then we would have all three kind of areas covered. But because they're in the US, they're even though they're called a foundation, they're considered the same as a charity here in the UK. Here in the UK, the word foundation has a lot more weight to it and has certain legal recommendations to it. More so than actually what the US one is. So because we're in the UK, I can't use the word foundation yet. So it's Pixelated Projects.
What about the Pixelated Organization?
Mike,
Foundation?
where have you been? Where have you been? Where have you been, Mike? This has been going. This has been going on for ages. It's a bit late now. I've ordered the business cards. I'm sorry, mate.
Well, there you go.
So tell us. So what exactly is the goal here? I saw when your show, the Saturday show, got submitted to the podcast calendar. I went to your website and I saw that you were taking time off, and I saw the charity thing. But I honestly didn't know that you had started it. What is the end goal here, and what are you trying to accomplish?
So we've got 3 objectives. Very simple, easy objectives. They're also quite. Well, I'll explain it, and then you can see for yourself that it's quite a huge void that we're trying to fill, and it's specifically designed that way as well. So it's to educate and to demonstrate the positives of technology, computing, programming, robotics, that kind of thing, and it's to also support victims and combat the negatives of such things. At the moment, especially here in the UK, there's a lot of charities getting a lot of government grants just doing the negatives, but they're not doing the positives, and vice versa. So we want to do it both. It only works if you say, stop hacking, kids, Joda Max, and do this instead. You know, it's much easier and fun, and you produce stuff instead of like hatcheting it all down. So that's the primary overall objectives. Pixelated Projects in itself is the overarching charity. Under there is 3 main projects. And some of these names you've heard before, and some of these names you haven't. So Power of the Pixel is our arm where we actually physically go into schools and go into colleges and go into community groups and talk to small businesses about how they can keep safe online, how can they keep secure online, basic introductory 101 on robotics, those types of things that we can actually do workshops on in specific areas. It doesn't matter where we are. We can go into a scout camp. We can go into a local school. We can go into, we've got our kit in a van. We can go there. We can be there in a few hours and we can do something really cool, and then hopefully bring more geeks into the realm. This is possible. Why don't you become a geek? Why don't you do this? This is cool. Then you've got so if you've got the physical classroom, we've also got the digital classroom, which is hopefully going to be... Here's a breaking news. Hopefully in the next few weeks, we should have confirmed how this is going to work for the beta for this to happen, or the beta, depending on where you are. GeekyThings.net is part of this. It is our digital classroom. It will be not only live broadcast, but it will also be on-demand content as well. We're already talking to people to bring their shows that already exist onto this platform as well. Only specific shows that we've chosen at the moment, because they've got to be educational, but it doesn't have to be. It also has to be entertaining because it's a different medium. So it's all in one place. That is our digital classroom. So if you can't reach us, you can still join us via digital IP addresses and apps, and see us on big screens or on the live feed. Then it goes stir crazy with something called a Pixel Exchange. And Pixel Exchange, they're not going to happen for at least 4 or 5 years, purely to the course of getting money involved, getting government grants. We're already on the process of dealing with all that lovely, slimy people in suits and like doing presentations and stuff. But eventually, a Pixel Exchange will be our permanent home. The idea is that we can build a fully fledged radio studio. We can build a fully fledged TV studio. We can build a fully fledged robotics lab. We can have our own classrooms and stuff. So that this Pixel Exchange, if we can't get to you and you can't get to us via Geeky Things, you have no excuse to come to our Pixel Exchange. And the idea is it's that a template. Eventually, the big old thing, it would be nice before I die to actually see at least 2 of these around somewhere. It's almost like it's based upon, once again, a scout camp. You've got multiple scout camps all around the world, and you can go to whichever one which is nearest, or whichever one you want to go to. The same premise is that a Pixel Exchange is based about around the place. If you want to go to one, you just choose which one you want to go to. You book your almost like an Apple store. You book your classes that you want to go on, and you then just turn up and you do your thing. And you can become, have a basic course, an intermediate course, or an advanced course, depending on what you've done previously and what you've decided to book on. So in a nutshell, and that truly is a nutshell, because it would go on forever if I had truly told you every nut and bolt of everything. That is Pixelated Projects. It is huge. I need help, please. Mike, are you free? Are you free, Mike? You surely,
No.
You must be free. You surely, you've watched enough X Factor now. You need.
Never watched
need
X
something.
Factor.
You need. Oh yeah.
I watched Flashpoint. Does that count?
He gets a few as soon as he gets onto the second bottle of red wine, he doesn't know what it is. It's just flashy pictures in front of him. It's X Factor, Mike. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter at that point. But yeah, so if anyone fancies joining this little bit of a crusade, then more the merrier at the moment. I've got some work that you can do.
I'm interested in how did you go about? Obviously it's got to be different in the where you are compared to the U.S.
Yes.
But how is the process of forming an actual charity? Is it something like how long did it take for you to become a charity and be able to start doing things that a charity is able to do?
We submitted. We got all the documentation. It happened. My rant happened at the beginning of February. Okay, so chronologically, we'll work this way. At the beginning of February, roundabout, I had this rant on my radio show, on my show, where I was saying, and it was in the UK. I know you heard it in the US, where the part-time prime minister that we have, David Cameron, decided to put he called it a porn filter on our internet. And it was an opt-out situation if we didn't want our internet filtered or not. And a few other things had happened. I had a few stories personally that people hadn't got technology and had made accusations, had made situations worse because they didn't actually know what they were talking about. But they had only learnt these things like Twitter and Facebook through things like right-wing, newspapery, kind of tabloidy style journalism. So it all came together and came to a head where it's like we need an unbiased, truthful organization that you can go to. You know, it is the only thing that is its job is to teach, is to educate. It's not to make a profit. Necessarily, it's not to. Obviously, it needs to make some money to pay for it all. But you are not the bottom line. You are not the person for advertising to be sold to. You are not the person that you're dialing a premium rate number to talk to Geek Squad. You are literally an equal person coming to this place to want to be educated on a particular thing. So that was the rant at the beginning of February. By the 26th of February, we had our business plan and constitution and all the nasty, foul writing of words and Excel sheets and cash flows. And there was a couple of weeks where all I could see when I fell asleep was the grid of Excel. Staring at it all day, it had like embedded into my mind. So that was the 26th of February when we finally got the package of documentation together. It finally went until about June when they you call it what's the tax arm in America of the actual organization that deals with all the tax and Inland Revenue, sorry,
IRS.
Yeah. So our equivalent called Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs, HMRC, right? HMRC need to approve that you are a not-for-profit organization before you become a charity.
Same here.
Oh, right, okay. So we submitted there. By about June, they finally agreed, with all the paperwork. They were on a huge backlog, more than normal. We were told that it was going to take about 7-8 weeks to go through.
Did it happen? Did it happen now?
Of course.
So this is all history.
This is all. Well, this is what Nick said. How did it take to get to a charity?
Okay.
So we've got HMRC. We're now not for profit. Then we went to the charity commission, and we had to go through the same shenanigans again. That's been all sorted. So now we are fully fledged, legally, a charity. We're on two levels. We are a charity, and also HMRC recognizes us as a not-for-profit. That started in February. It's now the 21st of September, and it's only just finalized now. Even though they agreed to it in August, it still took a load of faxes. Who does faxes anymore? Faxing and emails and all that shenanigans to complete that.
Did you get to see the Queen?
I've met her before, but no, not this time.
Well, then it's
she was
not
busy.
the done deal, and that's it. Keep working at it.
I'm sorry for wasting everybody's time. I
If it's any consolation, Lee, it takes just as long, if not longer, to get the same sort of thing in the United States. Supposedly, for very small organizations, there has become more of an expedited process because of some unfortunate affairs going on at the IRS, but maybe that will be a good outcome. Time will tell.
I just think it's very interesting that how Lee went from guy producing Dirty Boxers, the internet podcast radio show, to starting an organization. That's a very very interesting 180. Even though it's under the same kind of geekiness realm, it's very interesting. Congratulations,
Nick.
Thank you,
This
mate.
is Lee Brown.
I know. One day podcast extraordinaire, next day charity owner.
There you go. I mean,
I don't own the charity.
There is no charity owner.
There is
Okay,
no
charity
yeah,
founder. That's what I
yeah,
corrected
that's
myself.
okay. I know what you meant, but I now legally have to go.
Administrator.
No, I've got a few minions for that. Don't worry about that. That was the first thing off my list.
so are you paying yourself £100,000 a year in this charity?
No,
Oh, you
No.
need to get with it. That's the way we do it in the U.S.
I know that's the thing. I feel like I need to export it to America to be able to do that.
Just
But
take
it's-
business and just say it's for the charity.
Oh, of course, yeah. No, but seriously, it's still early days. It took I was told it would take 15 weeks.
Yeah.
It's taken a little bit longer than that.
It's not like there's anything else you can do about it. You have to bear with
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
And I've said it before, and I'll say it here, and it's to be open and honest about it. If I knew how much work it did take, I don't know if I would have done it. It was the pure naivety of,
You would
of me
have.
going, yeah, why don't we just do that? Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, you would have. You would have.
And literally halfway through, and being open and honest, and I don't regret doing it because I'm very proud of what we've done so far. But it's like halfway through, it's like, is this really necessary? Do we really need to do
I
this?
really want to help people. That's what it comes down to.
Exactly. All I've been doing is sliming up to horrid people in suits who have no soul. It's they don't even eat bourbon biscuits. How are they, or drink coffee at meetings?
Oh no.
These are the worst types of people. And yet I'm supposed to be friends with these people for this to work?
Are they lawyers?
Yes. No, one of them was. Not all of them were lawyers. Some of them were like local councillors on committees no one had ever heard of and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's suddenly people came out the woodwork who wanted to just go, yeah, I did this. And it's like, you did nothing. You've done nothing at all. So it's been a bit of a nightmare, but we are now on the business plan. We are actually at least because of it 2 months behind. But
Only
we
2
can make
months?
only 2 months because we thought
very
we were going to have enough time to actually start this time in the cycle of schools. We were hoping that we would be able to have at least a month or so to actually produce some stuff and actually approach people, and then by September we were hoping to actually be in the actual education setting. We would hopefully have been able to be, we call it CRB checked, but it's changed recently to something else. You're allowed to be near kids without fondling them. I don't know what you call it, safeguarding or whatever it's called. We were hoping that was going to be done by now, which it is now started, but it's like we were hoping it would be done so that we
And-
can move on to something else.
Who will be the beneficiaries of the charity?
It is, there is a policy, and I hate using that word because it, in my mind, implies that there is a bit of paper that is in a lever arch folder somewhere on a shelf collecting dust. It's produced and it will never be looked at again. But this is fundamental to what we do. It's called Access for All. It's on our website, and it basically says that it doesn't matter who you are or what you do, you can, you could be any age, any sexual orientation. You can be anything, as long as you approach it with the same mentality that anybody else can be part of it. Then you are welcome to join us, and welcome to participate with us. And we've got an interesting alliance. Some of our UK people would know is that we've got people from political parties actually working with us. We've got some people who are like the leftist of leftist, and the far left, proper kind of, to the point where they do collages as kind of as a hobby, and pressing flowers, proper far left. And we've got kind of the proper far right, insanely far right, UKIP supporters who are part of this, and they are all working on the same page because they know that their political alliances are left at the front door. We don't care. It's what you bring to the table that matters. And it's been working brilliantly so far. I'm waiting for the first bust up, to be honest with you, Mike. That's the thing.
What if it just works then?
Oh, it would be amazing. It'd be like 1969 all over again.
Yeah, just hope for the best, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what I'm hoping for. But everyone's the beautiful thing is that they're not even allowed to use this as a political kind of justery thing, and they haven't. I took them aside and I've mentioned it to everybody, and they were like, "Okay, I understand. You want to be neutral, entirely neutral," and that's what they've been able to. There has been a little hiccup where at certain levels of councils and horrid stuff and talking about, I don't know, recycling plants and stuff like that, and they almost brought us up as an example of stuff that should be done as well, instead of like funneling money towards us instead. And then it started to become a little bit of a political justering kind of puffed chest kind of, oh, we're red, we're blue, we're yellow, blah, 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 blah. Until I stepped in and went, we're neutral, we don't care. Just, if you're going to give us money, give us money. So, but we are very, very early stages. We need help, is the reason why I finally kind of started talking about this.
That's why he's calling.
Well, like I said, I don't like calling in every week. I don't like being like that sort of person who just calls in every week. Just to kind of prove that I'm, awkward, to prove I'm listening. I don't like that. But it's, if I've got something to bring to the table, I would like, if you've got the time to, talk about it. We just need, we need people. We need volunteers. We need anything and everything. What you think you can bring to us, please bring it to us, because we're a couple of months behind schedule. We've been kind of sidetracked by councils and meetings and hope for the best, and then suddenly that's fell through. So we're like, okay, we now need to start working on foundation level. We need to, like, the foundations of this amazing thing we're creating. We need to build this.
Lee, just put your pitch out there.
Yeah, lay it out.
Right, get it out. Right. So if you've got spare time, contact me. If you're a professional, if you're a hobbyist, if you know things, I need your help. Come and contact me. You can contact me via the website pixelatedprojects.org. If you are, and I love this, if you're an Amazon shopper, yeah, that's most of you, there is a way that you can help us every time you shop.
Okay.
If you go to our blog, we've spoken about it, on pixelatedprojects.org. You can support every time you spend money. On the Dirty Boxes show, we used to call it the Robin Hood click, where it's like 4% of the profits of Amazon comes to us. It's the same thing. We've set it up where 4% of everything you purchase via Amazon, via our sexy, saucy link, 4% of the profits come directly to us. You don't pay anything more. It comes directly to us. That's on pixelatedprojects.org/Amazon. Shocking. It's a shocking revelation, that is.
Who did your website?
Sorry?
Who did your website?
I did.
Very good.
Thank you. I like that. I like that. Thank you. Thank
He
you very
doesn't
much.
mean it. He's a liar. He doesn't mean it.
No,
Yeah,
understand.
I know he doesn't. But it's like I love the fact he's like, Lee's not a complete dipstick. Wow.
No,
I've got up
like
two
it.
notches
I
there,
like
Nick.
it. Nice and clean, professional looking, simple.
Thank you.
So Lee,
I-
you said you need people to help you.
I need
What
people.
kind of expertise are you
Current-
specifically looking for if somebody's got spare time? And do they have to be or do they have to be in contact with you? Do they have to like be local to you, or can they be from around the world?
They can be anywhere. Let's be honest. We're the downside to community projects and charities at the moment is that they don't use technology to the greatest. We are spearheading technology. We're going to use that to the absolute extreme as far as we can go. We don't care where you are. Please help us. You can be in Timbuktu for all I care. If you can get an internet connection, you can be on our side. That's as far as we go. We don't do carrier pigeon. That's rule number one. Okay, if you want to
Damn,
like that,
sorry,
we don't.
I'm out.
I know. I'm sorry, Nick. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Burst your bubble, mate. I'm sorry. But if you can, if you're you know PHP, if you know CSS, if you know Perl, if you know how to, if you know how to solder to create robotics, if you know anything like this at all, we're starting to create finalize our courses. We're going to start finalizing our workshops and our curriculum. I don't like that word, but I'm trying to find a better one. Curriculum of basic, intermediate, and advanced. Every subject needs a basic, intermediate, and advanced. And we're hoping that together we can work to actually go towards those goals. So, app development, Visual Basic, .NET, .NET. Oh, I feel a bit sick there. I'm sorry. Yeah, but we'll do it. We'll still do it because it's needed. We don't care. Primarily, we're going to focus on the open source stuff.
All right, so now we need to send an invoice for the 3-minute commercial. Is that the pixelatedprojects.org address good?
You could just claim it back on your taxes.
Okay, all right, we'll do that.
Yeah,
sounds good.
oh, by the way, yeah, if you're a business, if you want to donate some money, please do. You can claim it back on your taxes. Why not?
Not from the U.S. You can't.
What do you mean not from the US? You can't.
You cannot.
Hey, you're not tax recognized under the IRS for the United States.
But we're a charity.
It doesn't matter.
You're
Is
not
there a
in the
way
United
for him to become
No,
tax
no.
recognized?
Would have to be-
States.
Outside of the U.S., is there like a process or something for him to be able to do that?
You would have probably, I'm not a pro on that, but he would have to establish himself as United States organization as well.
Something to
I
look into.
feel dirty. Ugh. Okay, fine. I'll sort that out.
Doesn't
Otherwise, I can send a bunch of money to Lee, and then he'll hold it
But
for
here's
me.
the point.
It's-
The primary reason for giving a donation is not the tax deduction. If you feel strongly about something, you want to donate to it, give to it, and if you get the tax deduction, that's a bonus.
Because I'm hoping this eventually, and this is me kind of like sky high dreaming type thing. I'm hoping that this will last after me. This will be like a Scouts. This will just keep on going and developing and maneuvering as time goes on, where new tech comes online and old stuff falls to the wayside, but the information will still be there. I was joking last night that we want to try and get we want to enlighten and educate 1 billion minds at some point. That's
Good
the
luck with
mark.
that.
Oh hell yeah! So
The United
was-
States hasn't had any luck with about 300 million people, much less billion. All right, Lee.
yes, mate.
Good luck with your project. I hope it does very well. But I have to ask you a more important question.
You can ask me anything you want. You know that.
Did you get an iPhone 6 yet?
I'm not John Coles. No, I don't.
Hang
I don't
up,
have an
hang up, Amnon. We don't want to talk to him.
iPhone. Can I just say?
All right.
I-
Well, here's the
so-
point, though.
Man after my own heart.
I just
Yeah.
wanted to warn you, Lee.
Yes.
When you get when you get your iPhone 6,
I'm thinking of Android. actually.
Or
I'm thinking of like
no.
OnePlus.
Keep listening. Keep listening, Lee.
It has to be something that runs iOS 8
Okay, yes.
because it has a new application on there called Wave.
Ooh.
Wave is our latest and greatest addition to iOS 8. Wave allows your device to be charged wirelessly through your microwave frequencies.
No,
Wave
that's
can be
insane.
used to quickly charge your device's battery using any standard household microwave. How to use Wave. Wave will become automatically activated when you update to iOS 8. You can now wave charge your device by placing it within a household microwave for a minute and a half. Here's
no
how
more.
it works.
Okay.
iOS contains new drivers that interface with your device's radio baseband, allowing it to synchronize with microwave frequencies and use them to recharge your battery.
You are serious, Mike, right?
That is amazing.
Oh.
Science there, science.
It's a total scam, and not only does it cause your phone to catch on fire, it destroys your microwave.
Yep.
Get a credit card, buy both.
Yep. Put the credit card in there with it.
Yeah, Nick just tried it,
something.
and his phone is not working anymore.
Yeah.
So now I have to go buy another iPhone. Thanks, Mike.
Anytime.
I'm still using my iPhone 3GS or 3G. I think. I don't think it.
That's awful.
You're just
amazing.
talking. What just talking, right?
I am just talking.
You use it
No,
for
well,
talking.
I use it for talking and
Yeah.
web apps and stuff like that. But what amazes me, and I think everyone's got a little bit of kind of they've been concussed or something. The iPhone 3 and even the 2, the first one, is almost identically the same as the 6. Design-wise, it's almost identical. It's just a bit bigger as 6 and 6 Plus.
Yeah, but Apple makes money.
Yeah, well, we all know that, but I'm just saying, I'm thinking to myself, and everyone's going a little bit over the top insanity about the fact. Oh no, we've got iPhone 6, we've got to have that. That was John Coles last week. iPhone 6, got nipples. So he's like getting a little bit excited, and I was like looking at the phones, and they're exactly the same. There's no difference. It's the worst design ever.
Wow.
All
Mike,
right,
what you got?
Lee has
Yes,
spammed
Mike.
the show. Now I've got to do the same thing.
Okay.
I'm not
Okay.
apologizing
Yes,
for it.
go
You
for
don't
it.
All right. I never ask much of the audience. I never ask for anything in exchange for any help I provide to broadcasters, podcasters, but I am asking for something here. As I spammed the group last week, a buddy of mine, Beth, is doing the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation One Walk, where she's doing a walk next Saturday for diabetes research. This is an extremely good cause. Everybody's being begged to spend money everywhere. I get that. $5 won't kill you. I posted the link in chat. If you have an opportunity to go in there to make a donation, you need to do so. Type 1 diabetes can be very debilitating, but it can also be managed with the right technology and the right research. That's where the money goes. More than 80% of the money donated goes directly to diabetes research, and it's worthwhile. So if you have an opportunity to do so, please do it. You can donate anonymously, or you can put your name up there, whatever you want. But she wants to get to $1,500. She's right now over she's at 1,160, so we can get to 1,500.
Wow.
We went over we helped her go over 2,000 last year. This year's not going as well. So if you can do it, do it. If not, thanks.
All right. And on
Thank
that note,
you.
I have to step out here. I've got to run. So,
All right.
Lee, it was great talking to you.
Nice to talk to you again, mate.
And
Hope you have a good one.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
All
Bye
right.
for now.
Take care.
Take care, Nick. See you later, mate.
Those of you Linux users, native support for Netflix is coming to Linux, thanks to their move from Silverlight to HTML5. Mozilla and Google Chrome. Paul Adolph from Netflix proposed a solution to Ubuntu's developers. Netflix will play with Chrome stable in 14.02 if NSS version 3.16.2 or greater is installed. If this version is generally installed across 14.02, Netflix would be able to make a change so users would no longer have to hack the user agent to play. The newer version of NSS is set to go out with the next security update. So if you are on... Oh, I didn't... Did I forgot to switch, didn't I, Mike? Sorry. If you want to watch Netflix on Linux, you should be able to do it these days.
Well, you've always been able to.
Yeah, but apparently you had to hack something in the browser. I don't know.
It's Linux. They love hacking.
Yeah, well, but I mean, this way you don't have to. A lot of people don't know how to hack into it.
Well, I think the big news is that this concept came out, especially in Chrome, and I don't think it works in Chromium though.
Okay.
But I may be wrong on that specific thing. That's been around for at least a couple of months. Obviously, in the beginning stage of the alpha and the betas, blah blah blah, because obviously the way they develop stuff on Linux. So the only big news is that feature has finally become stable.
Good.
Instead of anything else. But
Yeah.
I feel like it's just Netflix trying to once again get some good PR.
Well,
But
then
I
maybe
don't
they
know.
will.
Well, they need it after everything else they've done. So
Another thing here that's interesting, Amazon WebPay. I've never heard of it. A free online money transfer service is shutting down October 13. This means you'll no longer be able to send, receive, or request money using just your email address and the Amazon Payments webpage. There were hints back in June that the service would be going away soon. Amazon sent out an email this week to active Amazon Payments account users, notifying them it is pulling the plug. I guess it's something like PayPal.
it was an alternative to PayPal.
Yeah. Well,
Which I don't understand. If you're using in Amazon's mind, if you're using the same systems that you use anyway, for all the quadrillions of dollars and pounds and stuff they make anyway,
right.
just opening it up for everyday morons like me, why does it matter? Why I don't understand why, and equally I don't understand why Apple Pay exists. It's just like a stupid excuse, like and Google Checkout. It's like,
I don't know.
it's just an alternative to those. The more alternatives we have, the better. Instead of just going, no, we're not making anything, so close it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Disappointing.
Let's see what else is here. I don't want to. No, that's it.
Well, that's it. That can't be it.
That's it.
I was hoping to actually get educated on stuff because everything's been Scotland this, Scotland that for the last 2 years over here.
So what do you think about that,
we've even
Lee?
had to change Doctor Who to be Scottish, for goodness sake. So, finally we've got rid of the tartan. Now I want to know what's going on in the world, and you've got Amazon Webpack. Yeah, it's closed.
Did you all see that picture of the like billboard that says about the vote in Scotland, and it says yes, no, it says no, 52, yes, 58.
Yeah, typical media. Well, this is bad.
Well, it's just nice to be able to breathe again. It was getting a little bit too. It felt very close.
What if it did? How would it affect?
What if it did? I think it's caused more issues than the fact that it hasn't.
Well, I
think
mean, we don't know.
seriously.
We don't know.
Well,
it could go one way. It could go the other. So
I think if they had said yes and they had finally gone,
yeah.
then the problem is with the smaller political.
I mean,
parties.
I didn't really mean. I mean, the question was kind of.
Oh yeah, I know, but
I didn't mean
seriously,
to get into the details.
No. It literally, it was just like they could promise anything.
Yeah.
They could go, oh, we don't want the euro, but we're going to do this, and blah 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 blah.
Right.
And it's like you can promise anything, but it's it's not your hand. Others will decide whether or not you, as a newly formed Scotland, will have the euro or not. It ain't up to you. So it was kind of a weird situation. But now this is the biggest issue. Now they've ended and said no. They've actually, domino effect, caused more havoc in like the constitutional UK than ever before. We are now going to spend another couple of years absolutely dead in the water because of it. The ramifications of it is truly UK shaky at the foundation level. It is crazy.
Yeah, welcome to our world.
Yeah, but your world, nothing ever happens in the House of Representatives, or you don't need to. You don't need to tune into C-SPAN because they'll go, oh, we don't like you, you don't like us, right, we won't agree, we won't sign, the bill hasn't passed. That's all what happens, rinse and repeat. At least over here we get things done normally, sometimes, occasionally. Now everything's put on, the brakes have been put on because this fundamental change has now got to happen, which only 3 million people voted out of a country of 65, 70 million people. And it's the rest of us are sitting here going, we don't want to change. Screw the trannies up north in their skirts, kilts. And it's like, who cares about them? We don't care. We don't care about their change.
Yeah.
But it's going to cost yet enough billions to actually sort all that out again.
Okay, so now I have a question.
Uh-oh.
What brought you here today, other than the pitch for the pixelated and... I mean, we haven't seen you. You haven't been active here in, I don't know.
I know. I haven't, to be honest.
So what's special about today? Was it just for the pixelated project?
No. It's because finally I've got rid of enough paperwork in my in-tray to actually, I can actually see the world. This is the first time I've spoken on pretty much any show.
Wow.
This I haven't been active pretty much anywhere. And it's primarily because I've been working kind of 12-hour days, 14-hour days.
That's fine. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You can.
No,
the great thing is that you're able to.
I am, yeah. And now, and it means that tomorrow I can actually go back to doing my show that I love and miss. I actually miss it.
Okay.
So tomorrow we're back. So it's kind of...
Did you tell people where to go and listen to your show?
Oh, no.
You can always go to whenisIton.net.
I don't even know, if we're on there.
You don't know when you're on?
I don't know. Are we on there?
Your Saturday show is on there, but you need to update for your daily show.
That's that. Ooh.
So when is it?
Tomorrow. 2 p.m. UK, 9 a.m. Eastern. We are
9 Eastern.
9 Eastern. We will be back.
And that's every day this week?
No.
Just Mondays.
Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Oh, okay. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Yes. So we are. There a lot of announcements are going to happen tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
A lot of changes are happening tomorrow. It's a big show tomorrow.
And people go to watch you where?
Well, they can listen to us on dirtyboxers.net /live.
There you go. Dirtyboxers.net.
And soon to be geekythings.net.
Geeky?
Geekythings.net.
Okay.
I want you to be on Geeky Things, by the way.
Okay.
Here's my pitch, right? We're a digital classroom.
Another pitch.
No, here's the pitch. Here's my pitch, Amnon. Listen, calm it down. Calm it down before you start selling me like Dolmio, tomato sauce or something. Calm it down, mate. Right. All I'm asking.
Go ahead.
All I'm asking, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're not for profit. We're a charity. We've got nothing in the bank apart from cobwebs and spiders, which are very, expensive, right? We want to rebroadcast your show on geekythings.net. Okay.
Why is it kind of geeky?
It's geeky. And it's things. It's Geeky Things. Right? Okay. We want to broadcast it live. Okay. There'll be a beta service at some point. We want to talk to you. I'm going to put you on the spot. This is me putting you on the spot. I want you on. I want you there.
No, I'll tell you right now, it's fine.
Is it fine?
Yeah.
Now it's sounding like you're desperate for listeners and viewers.
No,
now
but
you're sounding desperate. I don't know.
it has nothing to do with desperate for anything. It's if it's going to help you, it's going to help us.
It's beautiful. That's lovely. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, now I'm second guessing whether or not I should have actually offered. Now it's sounding far too easy.
Oh no! Now you're going to have to do it.
Oh no, that's awful. Right, so soon enough there will be geeky things. I'm very proud. I'm very excited about geeky things because it's finally, hopefully, going to be a platform where we all can benefit. That's why I was hoping to get Andrew Zeri on because I really
you should ask him.
I want some of his shows. I want some of everybody's shows. Everybody know about how Nick as well. I want his show.
Send him an email.
I will say, yeah, I've sent him an email before, but he didn't talk. He didn't answer. Even though we're the same person, obviously, because he goes, I appear. It's just,
It's all right.
It's getting there. We're getting there.
It's getting there.
It's getting there, people.
Yeah,
so if you want to participate into something really crazy, huge, pixelatedprojects.org. That's one more time. That's it. Pixelatedprojects.org.
Pixelatedproject.org. Projects.
Yeah. Well, it's project on Twitter because we run out of characters.
But it is plural, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It is. Yeah. We are. Hopefully, what we achieve in the next year is going to blow podcasting out the water a bit, and we've been neglected by Apple. As soon as we got into the App Store or the podcast store and all that kind of stuff, it was like, okay, fair enough. This year we're going to change. Let's change up a bit. We've been on the coattails of Apple and the iTunes store for too long.
Okay.
Let's do something cool.
Well, hopefully something will hatch out of it.
Well, I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Did you really do that? That was you, was it? Dear oh dear. This is dropped around here. Really.
I mean, this is interesting, Mike. Here's Lee was here today. Joe DeMax was here today.
The angry young man was here. Bloody hell!
What?
We've been invaded.
Are they something happening in?
Yeah, they thought they were going to lose Scotland, so they're sucking back up to the U.S. trying to get us to come back.
Oh, okay.
No, we don't want you back. That's fine.
You just want all the oil.
We've got our own now. Didn't you listen? We've still got our oil. We're fine.
Yeah, that was one of the bigger things about Scotland. They have oil?
No, the UK has oil.
Yeah, but I mean, is it in Scotland, a lot of it?
No, a lot. Well, it depends where you. A lot of it is halfway. If you think about it, on the.
Is it in Scotland?
Well, half of it is in the England bit, halfway up our country, and then a majority of the Scottish stuff is right in the top north.
It doesn't matter where it is, but if it's theirs, then you have to pay them now if they broke
needs
away.
to run for Parliament.
Oh.
No. Because the reason why it's top north and where it's in the island areas. The islands were going, well, if Scotland goes independent, we want to be like the Falkland Islands. We want to be back to England. We don't care about Scotland and what they're doing. So it would technically come back to us within a year.
Okay.
So Scotland would be screwed, but no one wanted to talk about that small caveat.
Yeah.
But there. Hey ho.
I mean, all these years and nobody talked about it. That doesn't say much.
They don't say much at all. Yeah, well,
All right.
because it's like counter argument, yelly, and it's just like no one knows anything.
Yep. All right. We are coming
right,
to
Lee.
the.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you,
for
Lee.
calling us.
No, I'm going to call you every week now. Every time I'm on, listening. I'm going to be one of those listeners.
No, very good.
But
All
yeah,
right,
have
Mike.
a great week, everybody.
See ya.
See
later,
ya,
guys. Thank you.
Mike. Do we want to end it?
Yeah, I wanted to say two things. Oliver said that he got his Radio Shack XLR to USB converters. Mine came in as well. I ordered several of them. And so long as you don't need phantom power, they should work just fine. Don't know about the noise floor. That would be more something to test. And for $350, probably be hard to to do much better than that. These were probably $20 or $30 units when they were actually sold through Radio Shack. And even if they turn out to be noisy, they probably could still be useful in an environment. Let's say if you're doing something remote, if you have your laptop outside where there's wind noise, probably the noise would not be an issue. I've gotten mine in. I haven't tested them as well. It will be interesting to see if they are made by the same people who make the Samson Q2U. If it's the same module built into that as this adapter is built into the Q2U, then it actually ought to be pretty decent. So, maybe it's worthwhile. At least
I mean, is this okay? The new show that we started Friday, she was talking to the laptop, which was not good.
Right.
So I told her she needs to get a ATR 2100.
Yep.
She doesn't need something like this with it, right?
No. This is built into the ATR 2100. If you had a Shure SM58 or one of the other XLR only microphones, like a PR40,
then
this would make it into a USB mic.
Okay.
The question that Oliver is asking is whether the quality is going to be worthwhile, which I don't know that answer yet.
Okay.
So
I'm still safe telling people to get the 2100 or the 2005. Right?
As they should.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's one, and I'll test mine as well. I've been busy too, and not interested in playing around. But if it turns out as well as I think it will, then there is actually there are three benefits to using it. One being price, two being that it separates the USB cable from the microphone. One of the problems with the XLR, the ATR 2100 is that when you're sitting there using it, you have a USB cable coming out of it. USB cables are garbage. So the XLR coming out going to an external converter could be better. But the third benefit is that if you already have an XLR mic, you don't have to buy another microphone. But it goes back to the same thing we've said over and over again, that if the AT2005 may be cheaper, ATR 2100, that it's an easy standalone unit. It works extremely well. It's hard to beat. And even if you already have other microphones, you probably should have one of these on your on hand to use in case you get into emergency or you want to go do something remote. It's a good deal. Having said that, for example, I had a guy contact me about a week or 10 days ago regarding his podcast. This guy has been doing his podcast since 2004. And how do I say this? Don't ask me my opinion if you don't want to hear it. So he asked me my opinion, and I very nicely told him that as far as I was concerned, his audio was terrible. Which he was shocked because he'd spent a bunch of money. He had a Shure PG48 microphone. And so that being said, who knows? But in discussing this, when he told me how much money he had spent, those, by the way, Amnon, you're asking about the part number of those converters. It's a 33-331.
Yeah, I got it.
Not Radio Shack.
Yeah.
$395 each, something like that. Andrews found them. He tested it on the show last week or week before.
Yeah.
And I've got 3 of them, so you don't need to buy any. But anyway, now I forgot what I was talking about.
Me too.
All right, somebody tell me what I was talking about. I got distracted thinking about those USB to XLR converters. The guy whose audio was helping him. Anyway, he had this PG48, and I suggested to him that he get an ATR 2100. And he said, well, guess what? I have one. And we spent some time going through it. He didn't like it. He wouldn't get close enough to the microphone. It was popping too much. He had no way to hold it. But finally, and so I figured, what the heck, if he wants to stick with the PG48, more power to me. You know what? People say, what's the best mic to use? The answer is simple. It's the one that does what you want it to do. If you like the sound of it, that's the sound that you think is good for your show, go for it. None of my business. Mm-hmm. That being said, he played with it, got used to it, and sent me another show that he had done like a week later. And I got to tell you, the difference was night and day. It was just night and day. Total night and day.
Okay.
I will tell you that I have identified, thanks to Merle and some others, I have identified a shock mount and pop filter for 2100 AT2005 that I am testing. I think I posted it here before last week maybe, but so far it seems to be well worth the $8 that you get it for at Amazon. Better than making your own using the other shock mounts, because it has one of the pop filters on it that is actually the screen you can place a certain distance from the microphone. The further you get from the microphone, it can sound worse, but there's a sweet spot in there where you minimize the amount of popping and you minimize the amount of room noise. So actually, Movie Buff, I thought I did post it there, and if you don't follow me on Twitter, you probably should, because I posted it there. Oh, I know, where else did I post it? The Podcast Technology Resources group on Google Plus. I also post it there. There's actually a thread there, which I think you can read without even being a member of the group. But it's go to Google Plus Podcast. Let's see. Hang on a second.
Mike, put your Twitter. It's at
MC Phillips. It's in the lower third.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But if I go here, give me a moment here. Let's see here. Oh, sometimes I hate this.
It's okay. It's just sometimes. Don't hate it now. It's okay. It's fine.
Oh, this is disgusting. Some of the things you click on. All right, we're getting there. And if you're not a member of Podcast Technology Resources group, by the way, before I post it, there's my spam for the juvenile diabetes thing. Guys, get off your butt and make a donation. It's not going to kill you. All right, where the heck is it? I'm almost there. Got to be close. Got to be there. There we go. All right, so view, edit, post, leave link to post. Now, let's see here. And we go, I'm going to confirm that this is the right length. And it's not. What the heck happened here? Link, this one, guys, when I get this link, it will, I should have copy, done. When I get this link working, it'll tell you everything you need to know, and there it is. Here is this. This shock mount is, and if you notice that on my last post in that thread, which may be the only post, there is a link there to Amazon where they have it, and I can also provide you with a direct link that I probably should have done instead anyway. And here it is on Amazon. This is a cheap unit. It is not robust. It is, Gary, it will not work in a radio station environment. It would only last about a day. But for hobbyist podcasters who take care of their stuff, who are careful with what they're doing, this is a good little deal for $9.
So what, Mike? I mean, you just put the mic in between the rubber bands?
Yep. Put it inside the like if that's a crossword. I mean,
the center.
You put it in the center.
And
it takes a little coaxing to get it in there, but it works.
Interesting.
All right, Amnon. My food is waiting.
All right. Well, that was great. I'm moving around. Everybody, thank you. Good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie, and Donna. Thank you, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing. Back up your hard drive and update your virus scanner. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. And while you're at it, like us on Facebook, and again, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't yet. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock, it is the Breaking Free Show. and we'll see you.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. Our weekly lineup of call-in programs includes Computers 2K Now with Amnon Nissan, Health In with Debbie Bruck, Breaking Free with Marilyn Shannon, Lessons of Vietnam with NCBVI members, The Tanya Love Show, Your Healthy Pet with Gisela DiCarlo. And if you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it at www.nissancommunications.com. Sponsored by Atomus.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters for professionals, CarolinaApparel.com, and DeltaForce.net.